They are that bloody good, Phil Hurton. Oh, Harry Prosser gets dropped! The excitement is building, the crowd is here.
Oh, why not, mate?
Fans, and welcome to a new look Harpers Field for round 14 of the Adelaide Footy League Division 1 season. Well, the finals, they're just 5 weeks away, and these two sides have been in pretty good form in the last month. That makes this a big test for both, with bigger tests still to come. Always making the grade are Filming Footy sponsors: Archie's Footwear, Belgravia Apparel, New Balance, Neomorph Mouthguards, Hahn, Wayfield Sports Exercise Clinic, Farmers Leap Winery, Police Credit Union, Dartfish Footy Stats, and the Moseley Bar and Kitchen. Coming up, it's Golden Grove, hosting Port Districts, a possible finals preview. Thanks to Filming Footy, this is the Adelaide Footy League. Yes, it's a big game today, round 14, the finals. Well, they're not too far away. You're with Phil Hurton and Adam Jeffries. Adam back from assignment. And mate, Harpers Field, last time we were here, it was all under construction. Now we've got a brand new grandstand to enjoy.
Yeah, looking forward to this, Phil. We were stuck in the pocket last time we were here. I think it was round 2, so the season goes fast, doesn't it? But yeah, excited to be here. 3rd versus 5th should be a great game.
I say it's definitely the game of the day, and not is it just 3rd versus 5th. There's two teams been in pretty good form. The Kookaburras have won, I think, their last 3. Probably the only question is who have they beaten?
Oh, it doesn't matter in Division 1 so much because nearly every team's pretty handy, aren't they? Even 9th and 10th are still capable of winning. They just found a little bit of mojo, haven't they, Golden Grove? But they weren't going that bad early in the season. They lost 3 or 4 close games. They've won those close games in the last few weeks, and now they're in with a chance of making the finals.
And as for Port District, they're in some form as well. They've won 4 of their last 5, and the one they lost was a narrow one to Glenunga when they showed some great comeback qualities. But they're in a little bit of a problem in that if they lose, Falcons could jump them or Golden Grove could get within half a game. So they've just got to keep winning.
Yeah, they do. The ladder's so tight. In my mind, they're the 3rd seed. They're the team that can put pressure on the top 2 when we get to September, but they've got to get into a position and hold that 3rd spot. Very tough to make a grand final from the elimination final, so they need to win, maintain 3rd with only a few rounds remaining.
Yeah, fair bit. Well, not a fair bit about the double chance after today. It could end up being a 3-horse race for that 3rd spot, certainly after Glenunga and Sacred Heart. Conditions today, you look out the window and you go, oh my goodness, look at this blue sky. It's going to be glorious. And yes, plenty of blue sky, but boy, what a breeze. And it's from the Arctic.
Yeah, just for the viewers at home today, there's a lot of mud in the middle of the ground, although this oval is in very good condition, but it is blowing significantly. So it'll be a low-scoring game. There'll be a lot of pressure, but that's okay. That's what we come to expect in Division 1. Should be a cracker.
Yeah, cracker indeed. Looking forward to bringing this to you after the break.
Get a quick and easy low-rate car loan from Police Credit Union today.
We've been housemates for, what, nearly 4 years?
Yep. Basically, since I started my uni degree and you got your apprenticeship.
It's been really good. Like, it's the little things, you know? Like, one of us is always around to house it when the other goes on holiday. And one of us is always ready to help the other out of jam.
I don't know. Yeah, happen again. It's usually me. My HEC stat doesn't leave a lot of room for holidays or working transportation or food. But it's worth all the debt, right?
No.
But what about your debt?
Debt isn't a problem for me. I get paid to learn.
You belong in blue. Apply for a career with South Australia Police.
Yes, you're looking live at a pretty blue sky kind of July afternoon. Round 14 of the Adelaide Footy League Division 1 season. We're here at Harpers Field, home of the mighty Kookaburras. The B grade at the moment is a pretty good game as the A's have returned from their trip to the second oval to warm up. Just a couple of points in favour of Port District Golden Grove to the scoring end with about 4 minutes left. So my name's Phil Hurd and thanks so much for joining us. I'm up here in the grandstand. G'day to you all. Rugged up because it's a little bit on the chilly side. Adam Jeffries, it's a beautiful view of the ground though.
Great spot to call a game of footy. Yes, it does. If you're at home, yeah, it looks pleasant, but it's windy. It's very chilly breeze today.
Indeed. And we've got a crackerjack of a game coming up between two teams that have had a pretty good month of footy. We'll start off probably by having a look at the ladder, and you can see that it's a game of consequence. Third versus fifth. Golden Grove's win last week against Broadview's given them a little bit of breathing space in the five. Not much. Port District, they've been the third seed forever, Adam, but they lose today, and it suddenly becomes a three-horse race for third spot.
Yeah, no, they're not locked in, are they, in third? They would love to finish third. Like I said, it is difficult to make a grand final from the elimination final, although this year potentially someone could push. But yeah, Port District, you'd love to finish third. You always want two chances in September. But Golden Grove aren't too far behind, are they? And they just seem to be finding their mojo at the right time of year.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Broadview and Prince Alfred sit that game out. They'll be hoping maybe for a Port District win. They get up, and then it's a battle of percentages. And even the relegation zone, I mean, at the moment, it's 3 games between bottom and fifth spot. Let's have a look at the Kookaburras and what they've done this season. And you can see in the recent times, 4 wins from their last 5 games. I guess my question, I asked it in the intro, bar their signature win in round 5 against Port District, all the teams they've beaten have been in the bottom half of the table.
Yeah, they do need to take another scalp, don't they? And maybe here at home they can. But, you know, even you go back to the Payneham in round 10, if they'd have won that game, they would have had 5 on the trot. So they seem to be getting players back at the right time. But it's a bit like the AFL season. That ladder's so congested. You lose 2 games in a row, Phil, you're back into relegation territory. Golden Grove get a 3-match winning run, and everyone's talking about as finals fancy. So it's still a logjam. Every game's important. You've got to win, and win at home for Golden Grove. Very important.
Yeah, 5 of those 7 losses, 8 points or less. They've played in a lot of close ones. They've also won, well, 3 of their last 4 wins have also been by less than 8 points. So they're getting used to playing the tight games that usually happen at the elite level here in the Adelaide Footy
Probably
League.
For Golden Grove, their domination through Division 2 and Division 3, they wouldn't have played many close games,
yes.
Phil. And I think that they've learnt a lot in the first part of the season, because it is a skill to play those close games. How do you defend? How do you attack in those last 2 minutes? So they seem to have found their way in the last couple of weeks.
How do you hold on to a lead once you've got it in particular? Speaking of elite, some of these players, and I look at it was their class of 2022. Some of the names: Josh Glenn, Jacob Templeton, Lewis Johnson, Cam Shenton. Just some of the names that came across in 2022. Saw them dominate Div 3, dominate Div 2 last year, and they're starting to find their way in Div 1.
Yeah, they do. Their top 4 or 5 players is as good as any in the competition, isn't there? And that's why I still think if they can get to the September field, they can do some damage, because they've got class players, they've got depth with their B grade winning most weeks. I think they can do some damage. The big in for them in the last couple of weeks is Pascoe back at full forward. He kicked 8 goals in the first 2 rounds. Then he went missing for a couple of months. We believe he had an arm injury. and he's back. He's kicked 16 goals in 4 games, so he's got the best goal average of anyone in the competition. He just hasn't played a lot, so that's a big in for them. And we know what Glenn can do. We know what Lewis Johnston can do, but they've got great players. Pittman's a good player. Their leading goal kicker is Slater, number 16, who gets under everyone's guard. He's a second ruck, tall forward. The one out for them today who I like playing is Cavallaro. On a windy day, they would love to have had him around the packs. But, like I said, they're finding their mojo. Their top 4 or 5 players, Glenn, Johnston, even with the howling conditions today, Phil, it won't bother them. They'll still be able to hit targets by foot.
Yeah. Paddy Ryan were number 32 on debut, and Cavallaro was a laid out last week, replaced by Lachlan Jean. Jean's the out this week for Paddy Ryan, just the one change. You have a look at Port District, and they had a good start. They got into that 3rd spot. Not a great 7-9, a couple of close losses there, and the one to St. Peter's was probably the one that surprised most of us. It's all sort of happening at the B grade at the moment as the siren goes.
A little bit of a skirmish on the siren.
And Port District have won the game, 6-7, 43 to 5-9, 39. Unless the umpire decides to give a free well after the siren, I can't see that happening.
Always tricky for the umpires when the siren's gone, isn't it? This is where the leaders, this is where the coaches of both clubs need to just separate the players.
Yeah, I reckon the umpires' observers come down as well. Just to, the one issue that they do have here is that it's the same race, and it's quite the race as well. It's a huge tunnel entrance to come out to onto the oval now.
It's like the soccer games, isn't it, where they all line up together,
rumble in the tunnel.
Walk out one by one.
I always remember a certain Norwood West game on Anzac Day a few years back where they both shared the same tunnel. Port District, their lineup. We talk about class. They won the February Premiership. And last time I saw them, Scotty Lysett was just absolutely unstoppable. He's going to give them first use of the footy, I suspect. And when you've got Sam Gray, Batty's having a second lease of life up forward. Joey Haynes has been really good, and Matty Rose gave them plenty of run. I haven't even mentioned the word Gaffney.
Yeah, well, like I said, I still think they're the one team that can challenge. If they've got everything up and running, their defensive pressure, their class players around the ball, they can still challenge for a grand final berth, in my opinion. Lysett looks better as the season's gone on. Phil, he looked sore early, but seems to have gotten better. We thought maybe his best footy would be early and get sore as the season went on, but he seems to be getting better, which is good. Batty's had a great season, 26 goals for him. He's been fantastic. We know that Sharrod's a class player. The one out again today is disappointing is Heffernan's an out today. He's been playing good football on the half-forward flank for Port Districts. Hopefully that's not a long-term injury for the Heff, because I always like seeing him play. But Haynes, Rose, Gray around the ball with Sharrod. Yeah, that's an SANFL starting midfield, isn't it? With a 200-game AFL ruckman. So they're going to be strong around the ball, but they need to find goals, Phil, and that's always Port District's Achilles heel. They should be pretty strong behind the ball. Carpeney is probably that guy. He's come back in late in the season, missed a lot of football, and Preston Cockatoo Collins as well has been a good goal scorer, 11 goals in 4 games. So maybe those guys can hit the scoreboard in this match.
The one change that I can confirm, Davidson in for Heffernan. I think there was one other. Sam Mackay is also not playing. I reckon Preston Cockatoo Collins might be is the in for that. Hugo has had a great habit of finding previous scores from like 10, 15 years ago. No. But Golden Grove and Port District apparently have only ever played once. That was 76 days ago, earlier in the season. It was Golden Grove's second win in Div 1. It was up against Port District's winning by 25 points. So, of course, Port District have been in Div 1 for a long time, Div 2 on the odd occasion. Meanwhile, Golden Grove, their short time in the Adelaide Footy League, just 20 years, a lot roaming around Div 4 and 3, occasional spots in Div 2 before their recent run to the high level. And I should ask Hugo, how many years did you go back, Hugo? To 1995, which if my memory serves me right, has been Golden Grove. So there's no doubting the tenacity
Just so everybody
and
at home
dedication
knows,
of our producer.
Hugo, our producer, is actually only 16 years old as well. So that's a fantastic effort. So.
Yeah. Alrighty, so they're the teams. We're waiting for Port District. Have been out there for a while, and you can see that it's a wonderful tunnel. It actually looks really good coming out of the change rooms. Good to see the kids as well. We've got the Oz kickers. I mean, they can't be Oz kickers. They've got to be under 6s, under 7s. They might get to have a game
Just
half
had a-
time. I reckon that's awesome.
Just had a note slip to me as well, Phil. We noticed that the senior grades wearing the different socks today. It's a Cancer Council fundraiser that the Golden Grove are doing. So with the different socks, you'll note that the boys are donning today.
Seems to be a thing now. We had Broadview in the purple socks last week for pancreatic cancer. The other thing that's happening today, I'm not sure if we're going to send our mobile man James around there occasionally, is that we've got the Past Players Day,
Yeah,
which is happening where we were broadcasting from last time.
Yeah, there's a hearty crowd down in that right forward pocket, Phil.
Probably a
Past
good
players.
idea to
Yep.
have the past. I know when I was at the Eagles, always a good idea to have the past players just that little bit separate from everybody else.
Yes.
Let them have their thing, and let everybody else have theirs.
Hopefully the marquee doesn't blow away.
Probably shouldn't. Weather conditions 13 degrees with a stiff breeze. Other games getting to pointy end of the season, and there's some interesting ones. Prince Alfred and Glenunga at Park 9. That was last year's grand final. Suffice to say, it's probably how far Glenunga.
Glenunga probably get the chocolates there, Phil.
Payneham and Brighton again. Payneham are probably the silent achievers. They're sitting in fourth at the moment. They'll be cheering for Golden Grove because they'd expect to beat Brighton, and if the Kookaburras do get up, they'd be in third tonight.
Yeah, Payneham, they have been the definition of a silent achiever. Fourth on the ladder, they'd take that, wouldn't they? But the ladder's so tight, they need to keep winning. They need to beat the bottom team at home, which they should by a couple of goals.
And don't forget, Golden Grove and Payneham are the two teams coming up from Div 2 last year, so both in the top 5 have done well. Struggling at the moment, Tea Tree Gully, also struggling St. Peter's. Big battle for relegation there.
Tea Tree Gully must win that game. They've really fallen away, haven't they? Like I said, they're a club that doesn't have the depth of others, and when you get to this winter period, they have a few outs and they can't quite keep up. They were really good early part of the year, but they've got time, Phil, to get it back. They only won 8 games last year and snuck in the 5th, so let's see what happens, but they must win today, and should.
Another game, I think it's at the middle school, because senior schools are back now, is Sacred Heart hosting Broadview. I think they played in the grand final 2 years ago. Both came up at the same time. Sacred Heart sitting nicely in second. Broadview are they're on the edge, but their inconsistency doesn't allow them to get those wins on the trot. They only scored 2 behinds to one end of their home ground last week.
Yeah, for mine, Sacred Heart are one of the most stingiest defensive teams I've ever seen in the Division 1 comp. I just can't see how Broadview kick more than six or 7 goals in that match. So I think Sacred Heart at home win in a low-scoring game. We should have some low-scoring games today with the muddy ovals and the windy conditions more than anything, making it difficult for the players to hit targets.
Saw something different last week. We saw a coin toss where I don't believe the captains made the call, and I thought we were going to see the same here. But Cam Shenton's made an appearance along with Sean Davidson from Port District. We've got our man with the camera there. If you're wondering where Lockie Gould is, he's on assignment today calling some football elsewhere. So
I think that's a promotion from Lockie, isn't it?
Well,
Up to the commentary booth at another ground.
Correct. Sean Davidson won the toss. Good toss to win, I reckon, Adam.
I assume he's going to head to the left.
He has, yeah.
Because I always thought it was slightly downhill and the breeze is heading that way. So it'll be interesting to see how the teams go into the breeze here.
We did see in the reserves game, Port District did get up, kicking a goal into the breeze from about 40 out. So good kicking can probably still get you goals down that end. Do you want to recognise the sponsors? Today we'll have the best player, thanks to Archie's Footwear, New Balance and Belgravia Apparel. Neomorph mouthguards give us the magic moment, hoping for plenty of those. And of course the Moseley Bar and Kitchen with the Best Team Man Award. Also want to thank Hahn, they're sponsoring our scoreboard this afternoon. Wakefield Sports Exercise Clinic, the Interchange Benches, Police Credit Union, all the views from the boundary. Dartfish Footy stats. I've missed your stats.
Love the stats.
Adam, in
we'll
your
have a few
absence.
today.
And of course, I have mentioned the Moseley Bar and Kitchen, but I'll mention them again because they're definitely worth mentioning.
Great establishment, the Moseley.
Absolutely. So we are not too far away from getting underway here. What's your thoughts on how this game is going to pan out?
Oh, look, I think it's going to be a tricky game because it means so much. There's going to be so much pressure around the ball, and then the breeze and the conditions will make it hard for any pretty passages of play, Phil. It's all about winning stoppage and field position. But in so many of these games, Phil, I've probably said it 100 times since I've been working, it's about taking opportunities. This is a 10-goal to 8 game. And then who kicks accurately and kicks that 10 goals and who misses a few chances. That's what it'll boil down to. I think Golden Grove have a little bit more talent in their front half. And I think if they can hold on here in the first quarter, I think they can take in a half-time lead, but they'll be into the breeze to start, so it'll be interesting to see how they fare. Golden Grove, 2 goals for mine is the tip, Phil.
Okay, there's the siren to say just a minute to go. Both teams are in their huddle. They have met once before this season. Hugo pointed that out. It was Port District going down. They kicked 6 goals, 5. Golden Grove 10-6. That was when Port District had that run where they just couldn't seem to win at home. Something they've
had some scoring droughts and those games at home early in the season, but I think they've been better in the last 5 or 6. They might want to get one back on Golden Grove today.
Yeah. What's fascinating is this is the start of a bit of a gauntlet for both sides. Obviously we're focused on today, but just to look beyond that, Golden Grove, their last 4 games are at Glenunga, against Prince Alfred, at Sacred Heart, and against Tea Tree Gully. So you've got the top 2 teams in the comp on the road, the defending premiers, and then your arch rivals. So,
and you've got to win 3 of 4 of those games potentially. That's
correct.
A tricky draw, isn't it?
You'd want to win at least 3 of the 5 to ensure a finals berth. Port District, probably similar. After today, they host Sacred Heart, travel to 4th place Payneham. Then it does get easier for them. They finish with Brighton and St. Peter's. Although Brighton St. Peter's, I reckon last year, Spock got them and got up, and that caused a bit of concern out Goodwin's way because they got relegated. But that's in the future. Right now, we got ourselves a matchup. You can see Scotty Lysette is going to go in the ruck for Port District. Final prediction.
Golden Grove by 2 goals.
Okay, I'm probably going to say Golden Grove, maybe by 3. Bit of hometown bias. Sorry to all the Ditters fans out there. We are underway. Thanks to Filming Footy, your match of the day. We do thank Archie's Footwear for their support. Pittman, last week's best, in a clean jumper for the moment. I don't think we'll have as much mud as we did last week. That would be nigh on impossible. His initial clearance instantly rebounded by Districts. Pittman again the pickup. They're going to work it around the back. Now, I always think that man with the beard is Shenton, but it's not. He's actually playing up forward. I think it's actually McKelvey. So trying to get those two confused. There's Shenton in the middle. The 225's doing better with the ball. And there's our first introduction to the hard area.
What an amazingly ballsy kick that was from Lewis Johnson. They're going into the breeze, and he's just tried to laser a ball into the middle of the ground, and it's led to a turnover.
Yep. So it's Port District heading to the left of your screen. That's the, what I'm going to call it, the deepest part of the ground. Because you can see here, our camera is dead set level. That slope you see is the real slope that we have on the ground. Throw in. Minute to go. No scorers yet. Port District doing the first inside 50. Again, Pittman. The outside work with the long kick. Gained some good meterage. Lysett picked it up at ground level. That's actually an effective handball. Glory be. And that was through Nash Haynes. Not to be confused with Joseph Haynes. Nash is with a Y. Joey is with an I. But they both got the red hair. Go figure. In the end, a throw in.
So you can see early on with the breeze, Lewis Johnson, who started on this close side wing, is going to try and drift over and behind the ball to help out his defenders as much as he can here.
You can see him there, number 23 on screen. As that throw in missed all the rucks. So you can see the breeze there. There's McKinlay. Golden Grove getting it forward. Johnson's under a bit of... actually, it wasn't Johnson. It was Xanthopoulos under pressure. Okay, here's my man McKinlay. He's got a couple of touches early. He'll come clubroom side. Spots up Mitchell Payne. He's wearing actually, no one's wearing long sleeves today.
Well, I'd be wearing them if I was playing.
I was about to say, I mean, certainly it's cold enough to wear them. So Port District doing a fair bit of the early attacking. This is Aidan Thatcher, their second best last week. He's got an open Kookaburra back towards the middle of the ground. Not a single Port District player behind him. High kick. That one's held up in the breeze. Lands on the 50-metre arc.
And that's a fantastic...
And Gaffney's already getting his jumper jersey.
Fantastic intercept mark from Gaffney, and he's up in there quickly on the transition straight away.
Haynes, the big stretch. The long legs moving well. He's gone with the long kick. Joey Haynes kicking a goal. Didn't see that much in the Sandful. He's actually kicked 2 this year, I should add, after 0 the previous year with the Panthers down at Noarlunga.
He's a great player, Haynes, but he'd love to have that kick back. He really blazed and had a little bit more time to just put the ball in a dangerous position. And Golden Grove again on the counter-attack, they're out.
They worked this well, just got the kick away from Jacob Tentler, not using the lead of Shenton. Shenton's arrived. Mighty Stats with the tackle. And is that a free kick? It certainly seems to be. Deemed that Pascoe made no attempt to get rid of the ball, holding the ball.
I haven't seen Golden Grove for a few weeks. Interesting, Shenton starting forward whilst they're into the breeze. I would have thought maybe he could have been their drop-off defender, but we'll see how it plays out.
It's something they've done in recent weeks. Shenton's kicked a goal last week and a goal the week before. So he's been the move to go up there to be a foil for Pascoe. Almost a drop kick by Harry Dwyer, and Thatcher is there. So Thatcher's got the job on Batty. He did an excellent job last week. Was he stiff? Keeping Boris to just a goal? Probably.
Could have got your award, Phil, maybe.
Yeah, maybe we need a better judge. That's why they got you back, I think, Adam. Better judge of these things.
Here we go.
Golden Grove is certainly doing a lot of moves, and they've got the open players. It's 3-on-1 Kookaburras. Jed Banwell kicked the sealer last week, drew the player, butchered the kick. They've got enough, surely. He's going to go with the Stevie J. Not sure if that was the best percentage shot, but it gets the result. Wow. Talk about a counter-attack. I can't remember, Adam, the last time I saw a movement forward, 3 attackers versus 1 defender.
Yeah, there was a real breakdown there for Port Districts. There was a big pack on the wing, as happens a lot. But Port District's defenders all got sucked into that pack and the ball spilled out the back. And a clever play by Golden Grove. But it's been entertaining, hasn't it, Phil? It's very blustery down there, but the ball has been moving end to end very freely. I'm not sure if both coaches will be happy with that, but it's been entertaining up here so far.
And that was Pascoe with the goal. Didn't mention that in the communications. He's got his first, that's his 17th of the season, 3 goals last week. Actually probably could have had a couple more. And just early days, Port District have done the clearances, not surprising, through Lysette and the attacking, but Golden Grove look a little bit better structured, and they're getting very open early.
Yeah, agree. They've been found easy targets here on the wing, and again, spotting up a short. Josh Glenn can do some damage from here. He'll look for Pascoe on a little lead to the fat side.
And if you give Golden Grove some of their players space, you're going to have a very long afternoon. I reckon there's going to be a chat about that and work rate. As the kick out finds the wall again, open Kookaburras. Back to whence it came, top of the square, and that's a clunk. I reckon that's Slater.
Slater, yeah. So, yeah, Golden Grove are right on top here. Port District's had the first few entries, but, yeah, they've just been able to play some uncontested football into the breeze, mind you, Phil. You can see that kick from Glenn really hold up before as well. But an easy snap there for Slater. Great start for Golden Grove.
2 kicks from a similar spot. Both their key forwards have got into the action early, which is what you want. And, look, you can kick goals to that end. What do we call that? That's the Tea Tree Plaza end, Modbury end. But, yeah, 2-0 into the breeze is a sensational start.
Yeah, when we get here and we watch the B grade, and, you know, with all due respect, the B grade players aren't as skilled as some of these A grade players, and we saw teams struggle into the breeze in the B grade. But here so far, maybe the breeze is just dying off a little bit. But, yeah, Golden Grove have just done as they pleased with a lot of uncontested marks, moving the ball from end to end far too easily for Port District's coach Ramsey's liking, I would have thought, early in this game.
Harry Hawkins and Batty come off, thanks to Wakefield Sports Exercise Clinic giving us the interchanges this afternoon. And again, Lysett with the tap straight down to Golden Grove. Johnson fakes that he was going inboard, then goes outbound. And again, a good grab. That kick coming from the way of Josh Ingram to Glenn. Joey Haynes got a mitt, couldn't bring it in. Now it's a hot footy for Davidson. Seems like there's 2 green for every black at the moment. Pascoe just stepped out of bounds before he could put boot onto the Sharon. Will be in throw-in in front of the past players' tent, who I'm sure were giving some choice advice on that decision. 7 minutes gone. How's your inside 50 count as a matter of interest?
Golden Grove already had 6 to Port District's 4. A few shallow entries for Port, but Golden Grove have peppered away with some repeat entries in the last few minutes.
Yeah. All right, now it says, now you see a line now. I've got no idea what that line is, but it's not the 50-metre arc. I don't have any idea what that is. I think it's from some other sport of some sort. Tackle made, not without the footy, so a chance to play on. Advantage Ditters. Port District inside 50 where it's 2-on-1 Golden Grove. Oh dear, the play by Payne gave Cockatoo Collins a chance, and his teammate I think had it covered until Payne stuck them in, and maybe a little bit of miscommunication between those two defenders.
He butted up well, and it looked like Cockatoo Collins, as licking his lips, could have run into an open goal, but he recovered the situation well. Now Port Districts need to lock the ball in if they can, get their structure set up behind the ball, get some repeat entries.
Josh Ingram from Golden Grove and Jack Gaffney from Port Districts getting to know each other.
Wonder if they're tempted to send Lysett to these stoppages. A free kick here, but he's not a great intercept mark, is he? But he's so good with his tap work that he might set a goal up.
Louis Johnson sends it downfield. Glenn was about 3 back, marked by Davidson. Now it opens up for Port District. They head to the middle of the field. The run is by Joseph Haynes. He goes with a grubber kick. It's partially smothered. Hot footy, 50 metres out. Sammy Gray looking to get some. One of his early touches was deep as Joe Haynes again. This time his hand pass is intercepted. Open footy. Port District are making a battle of this. It comes to Sharrod, to Cooper Gaffney. Now to Rose. They're trying to work it around the Kookaburras defence, but plenty of little smothers that Golden Grove are getting in there. Their work rate's been fantastic. That one's into space, and that's the beauty of the rule, Adam.
Just some uncharacteristic errors, like Rose there, experienced player, no composure. Haynes before, no composure. They just need to settle here, Port Districts. Their time will come. Just take their time. Their class players don't need to rush.
Yeah, they went a long way back. They've managed to work it across to Sharrod. Sharrod versus, is that Sharrod versus, Pittman. That is going to be an excellent matchup this afternoon. Back to Nash. They're actually back where they started. Dead set. Cooper Gaffney would be very happy he managed to keep that in the field of play. To Rose. So they've worked Golden Grove from one side of the field to the other. Dinoff has it. Dead set. They've had it for 45 seconds and moved it forward about 20 metres. Now the kick is wayward, out of bounds in front of the big banner.
And was that Haynes again? So you can see how breezy it is with a player of his quality kicking it out on the full twice already. But you can see Port Districts, their one Achilles heel in their squad is that lack of a tall forward. McKay not playing today hasn't helped. And you can see they just don't want to go long, contest and crumb and get some field position. They're trying to maintain possession. And
Batty's still on the bench, which surprises me when your forwards are part of that kind of rotation, especially this early in the game. Unless they're just trying to confuse the Golden Grove defence.
It's always a tricky one. You want to start your bench moving, but the first group that comes off, you always have 3 blokes that are like, don't want to be that guy. I want to be out in the field.
Yeah, but you think it'd be like some of your players that are going up and down the field.
I'd personally ask an on-baller just to go maniacal for the first 5 minutes and then come off.
Exactly.
Batty at full forward, only been in one contest, and then he comes to the bench. Rose gets the 25-metre penalty, and they've cleared from the D50. Let's see what they do here. They try to maintain possession, or if they'll go long.
11 and a half gone. He's on the hillside of this ground here at Harper's Field, and Ingram pretty much uncontested, made good possession, no one challenged it. We'll bring it across to the club room side.
That's a tricky one there, but Preston Cockatoo Collins has got to just try and come up and make the contest and cause a spill there. It's not his role, but sometimes when you're in that position, you've got to do it.
Louis Sharrod did well to run interference, got it to, ended up with Louis Johnson. His kick to no one in particular, which is where Cooper Gaffney alludes to. Only problem there was 4 Kookaburras. As I said, their work rate has been mightily impressive. Banwell's kick towards Pascoe. He's doing all right battling for the ball here. Now he's got a battle with Rose. Couldn't get there first, but he could certainly give some physical pressure. Speaking of pressure, here comes Glenn, but somehow Ditters get it out. Taken by Deinhoff, and he's found Harry Dwyer. All right, now, is there anything inboard? No, he's going to go downfield. Spots up, I think, Liam Ferns. Ferns too far out the score. We haven't seen them really have a shot in anger yet. I think the closest one was Joey Haynes, just outside 50. Now they get a shot in anger to an open goal. Needed the bounce for Kenneth Carp, and he didn't get it.
So, Phil, I'm no prophet, but that time Cockatoo Collins made the contest, and guess what? They got a shot on goal. They thought that Johnson was going to take the intercept mark, but Cockatoo Collins just got a hand in there. Ball on the ground, snap on goal. Those contests in the forward line are so crucial. Let's see what Johnston does here with his leg on the kick out.
Yep, he's got the designated kicker duties today.
Which is smart as well. Use his leg.
And you've got to be careful because with this breeze, anything that gets turned over has a decent chance of coming right back over your head. Meanwhile, it's found Hable.
That was
They've
a
got
magnificent
it on.
pickup
The
from
movement
Hable.
is sensational. One-on-one contest. Pascoe's a chance to set.
Wow.
Oh, that is beautiful. Can I give that?
That's play of the day.
Have I got 5 mouth guards?
And for mine, it was Hable's pickup. One-handed at full tilt. And they were away. So you called it, Phil. The set play, Johnston, who actually can pierce into the breeze. That was just a training drill for Golden Grove. Very well done. And Pascoe's a pretty good shot on goal. Should kick this through.
Yeah, so it is straight in front. Distance should not be a problem. He's had a fair bit of time to think about it. That can be a problem for forwards. He started left, but stayed in. Golden Grove are making full use of every opportunity. They are 3 straight. Port District, they won the toss, have the breeze, one behind.
Yeah, 7 inside 50s for 3 goals into the breeze for Golden Grove. But that's a set play on a kick out. And for mine, Port Districts, they're not locked in here. Some of their ball use going forward has been disappointing. Some of their contests from their forwards have been disappointing. Their midfield, we haven't called Gray or anyone for possessions yet. And Golden Grove have won a lot of uncontested balls. So Port Districts need to tighten up here. Golden Grove in a nice little patch at the moment. Big centre clearance coming up.
Smile, gents. Enjoying the new facilities here at Harpers Field. Still a bit of a construction site between us and the car park. But to have this grandstand open is a major move forward for one of the elite teams in Adelaide Suburban Footy in the Adelaide Footy League. I think that was Johnson who came up as the third up. Shenton back.
Now he's back behind the football. So he might just be a swingman all day, Phil. Forward when you need, back when you need.
Or maybe just say we're going to use you down that end all day.
Well, he is the captain. He may just call it himself. This is where my team needs me at the moment, and he's a good communicator.
So he's swapped with McKelvey, the 2 bearded ones. And again, numbers at the contest. Players that are open, although a little bit of pressure momentarily put on Hable, is good enough to recover. Again, look at the number, 2-on-1.
It's a bit of reminiscent of Tom Stewart Geelong with Shenton. I think he was getting a lot of attention behind the ball. Club's not letting him play that intercept role. So, hey, if that's happening, just jump forward or get onto the ball. We want you involved in the game. So if that's how it's played out, that's smart coaching. Port Districts looks like they might go inside 50 here.
They do, and finds Ferns. Up until this point, like this part of the field they're doing, I mean, that's a high kick. Gives the best chance for the taller defenders, although it's got to ground level. Gaffney was taken hold of the ball. And it will go to Dobie.
Just wondering if the breeze has shifted a bit, Phil, as well, because that ball appeared to hold up on the entry there too, didn't it? There's a great intercept by Sharrod. That should be a mark play on.
Not paid. Just playing kick to kick at the moment. You can see a little bit more input into that one. This is where Port District have the numbers, as it's gone from Gaffney to Joey Haynes, and another pretty much uncontested mark inside defensive 50.
That's Port District's 10th inside 50, Phil.
And
just
how
for
many?
the one behind.
And they've had what? 1.5 shots on goal.
Yeah. So they need to find a contest in their front 50.
Yeah. Hard footy to get just at the moment. Sharrod's getting plenty of it. Lyset almost gives that a little bit of a taut feel. It will sit up and will be behind. So Port District to double their score. They're on 2 behinds. Golden Grove 3 straight goals, a 16-point margin. 17 gone.
Coach Ramsey must wrestle with putting one of his star mids in the forward line just to create some pressure on the opposition. Sharrod's a guy with the height that can worry a tall defender and give him some structure forward of the ball, but they haven't pulled that lever yet, as Johnston some great distance into the breeze again.
I'll tell you what, looking around, there's a lot of players at the moment that don't have opponents on both sides. Well, I guess if one doesn't, the other side doesn't either. But Golden Grove are using it better. Pascoe has been very threatening early. Too far out to score on this occasion. Puts it out in the path of Templeton. If he'd have kept his footing, he could have just sauntered into goal. Instead, he'll take the shot.
Yeah, wow, again, transition on the kick out. So that's a set play again, Phil. They've got their numbers and their star players on that far side with Johnston. They get the contest, the crumb, and then they're out, and they've got Pascoe in half of the field on his own, and he was able to lace out Templeton there. They've had 2 shots from this spot with the little snaps. Should be able to kick another one.
And he does. Mark Chandler, the goal umpire, does not have to move except to come forward and give the 2 fingers salute. Should mention our goal umpires as that's a 4th goal for Golden Grove. Field umpires: Marek Carles, Dennis Chester, Chris Lambert, Guido Picaro, James Underwood on the boundary, Jason Collard and Mark Chandler.
So there's still a long way to go in this game, Phil, isn't there? But that's a fantastic start. But just for the viewers at home, Port Districts have had 11 inside 50s to Golden Grove's 8. So great efficiency from Golden Grove. They've got some really talented players in their front half, and Port Districts just need to tighten up defensively dramatically here at the moment.
2 goals to Pascoe, singles to Slater and Templeton. It's all Golden Grove on the goal scorers list at the moment. Port District, another inside 50. I reckon almost the majority of the inside 50s, the first player to touch it inside the 50 has been a Golden Grove
But they haven't
defender.
had the spare. So there's been 6v6 at these bounces. So yeah, Golden Grove well on top in the defensive half at the moment.
Paddy's back.
Like I said, I
On
must
the
be,
field.
for mine, I'd be sending Lysette to do these hits and create some carnage. Like I said, he's not a great intercept mark. For me, his strength is at that stoppage.
He was pretty good the game we saw against Glenunga. Hasn't done that today. That kick is going to almost end up in the grandstand.
And you can see the big fella now rushing to get inside 50 and make a contest. I'd be giving him a chance and putting a ball in his vicinity.
See there the Kookaburra's coaching staff. Short kick to Sharrett. Runs off the man on the mark. Going to put it to the hot spot. Here come the... Well, I was about to say, where are the flyers? In the end, there really wasn't one. It was too far out in front of Batty and pretty easy for Johnson to mop it up. He's got Pittman.
Umpires called it back. Johnson not behind his mark. But again, there's just a forward entry with no method for Port District. Sharrett's played on and gone to the fat side, and all of his forwards were on the skinny side. So not quite on the same page at the moment, but they're winning enough of the ball in 13 inside 50s field. They can turn it around.
Yep. Now they go the other way. They'll take it to the outer side where we've seen, out on the full.
So that breeze is almost switching around for me, where maybe it's not quite, it's pushing it right across the ground field, isn't it? There's been a lot of out of bounds on the full. So maybe both teams with the breeze maybe going across the ground more than favouring one side.
Rose to Gaffney. Jack to Cooper. From the edge of the centre square, pops up, and there's a nice grab.
That's first kick inside 50 that's gone to anyone's advantage. This will be a tricky kick for Lysette, but that's a much better play from Port Districts. Lowered his eyes, kick to someone's advantage. Good clunk by the big fella.
Kicked 1 goal in 5 games for the Magpies of Port Adelaide last year. Has kicked 6 goals in 12 games. 1 last week in the Port District's 39-point win over Prince Alfred. Ditters need this. The kick has the length and the direction. You say Ruckman can't kick. That is a beautiful first up goal for Port Districts this afternoon. They'll be a little bit relieved they're on the board with their first major. They go 1-2-8. The margin back to 16 points.
Yeah, great ball drop by big Scotty Lysette there. I thought he may struggle with the breezy conditions, but he struck that absolutely perfectly, Phil. Hit the left post, swung back, and a great forward movement that time by Port Districts, who needed that. Like I said, that's their 14th inside 50 to 8, so they're well and truly in this game. Golden Grove super efficient thus far, but a great goal for Lysette, and he's back in the centre ready to get his team a centre clearance again.
Interesting coaching setup there. They've got the table, the chairs. No laptop, I noticed. As Port District get the clearances. You used to have a table, or what did you use to record your thoughts on as a coach?
Nah, it was all in my brain.
All in your head?
Yeah, very rarely kept notes.
Yeah.
I'd have stats people who would assist.
He'd tell you what.
Who would just trigger a few thoughts, but no.
Yeah, got it. Shenton's up forward again. I think he and McKinley have doubled up. It spills to Connor Dodd. And Connor Dodd has Golden Grove's, every goal the Golden Grove have kicked, it's been a really, really good build-up.
So again, Port District's got the centre clearance, went down their way, and then it's rebounded and uncontested. Really, like that's training drill type of stuff that we've seen, which is really surprising. It's disappointing for Port Districts because they got that goal back, and then what they needed was a real arm wrestle to kick the next one.
Quentin Dodd's been playing A grade since 2017. Golden Grove has been his one sole junior community club, but did spend a bit of time in the Central District systems. You find most of the Golden Grove players that do get a time at a Sandford club, it is Central District, with a few heading to Norwood. Almost 24 gone. Quick reply by Golden Grove to that Port District goal. Johnson's tackle wasn't enough. Now Sharrod is in a kookaburra sandwich.
It's a tricky one for the umpire. No prior for Sharrod, but he did try and jump and evade the tackle, but probably a good decision at this level. That's a ball up.
You give players more benefit of the doubt. Nice at the tap, the kick smothered. Sharrod ran into a green wall. Johnson, clean pickup, got the hand pass out. No one in particular. That was a little high on Shepherd. Golden Grove want to try and play on, but there was no apparent advantage. 24 and a half gone. It's an interesting one. I reckon that's about the 7th time today that Louis Johnson just stands about 10 metres behind the player with the mark or the free kick. They give it back to him so he can just,
I have to say,
without
Phil,
pressure, boot it downfield. And he's been allowed to do that every single time.
We might talk about that more later on, but I'm still flabbergasted, Phil, that Lewis Johnson doesn't get tagged. Be the first thing I'd do. Yep. Sorry, Lewis, you're a great player, but I would sit someone on you all day.
It would certainly make Golden Grove change their approach on a few things. Right now, it's at the 50-metre arc of Port District. Fair to say that's where the game's been a fair bit of the day. Free kick being found. Going to go the way of Hunter Carter, I believe. He was about, of course, that one works. He's just got to come back.
So if you can see what he does here, he's just too far out to score, and it's that distance where you can just kick it to the line and get it to shove through.
I don't know, with this breeze.
Maybe it's at his back and he hit it at the left post. He looks semi-confident here, doesn't he?
There are some players at this distance with this breeze, I'd give them a decent chance. Is Hunter Carter one of them? No. Actually drops a little bit short, which is more a blessing for Port District. Golden Grove work it towards that boundary line where it will be a throw-in. Almost 26 minutes gone.
There'll be a few, maybe we've just heard there's just over a minute to go, so Port Districts would dearly love a goal, Phil, and they can't concede one the other way, so big minute for them.
22-point deficit they face, make that 21, and that's I think that's a perfect thing. 1 point isn't going to make a difference. Giving up a goal, why concede the momentum you've built?
Golden Grove have been lethal on the kickouts thus
Exactly.
far as well. So
you've just given it to your best weapon.
He's taken the conservative approach on this occasion. They might just be happy to take this lead into quarter time.
Yeah. Take whatever seconds you can off the clock. Heads towards the boundary line in front of the club rooms. Marked by Harry Hawkins. He's too far out to score. To Sharrod, he's too far out to score. We'll go into the pocket. And despite the bumping, that's a touch, that's a stoppage.
I just don't get what that handball to Sharrod achieves. Like, Sharrod's immediately under pressure and just has to bang the ball inside 50. Trust your kickers to look up. Yeah, handball to Sharrod. As soon as you handball Phil in football, guess what? You can be tackled. And a lot of clubs still like to play that game.
Especially if you're the one receiving it.
Do you think Glenunga would make that handball? No. Kick the ball in.
Is that a throw?
Paid a throw.
It's a
in
throw.
the pack
Wow.
here. Not a lot of remonstration there. So
Sammy Gray.
we haven't called him a lot, have they? If they dearly would love a straight kick, I think we'll be on the siren here as well.
Sam Gray's played 13 games this year, kicked 6 goals. He's been in the best players 8 of the 13.
And more than capable at this range. Grader just hit the left post and let it swing through here.
Yep. Margin 21. 15 would sound a whole lot better for Port District. From the edge of 50. Let the breeze take it all the way home. And there's your siren with nearly a second left. So, Golden Grove's quarter, no doubt about it, but a little slight momentum change to Port District on the siren as we see the Dartfish replay. Nicely done by the former Magpie Eagle and a Greater Western Sydney and Sydney Swans player as well. It is 5-0-30 for Golden Grove, 2-3-15 for Port District. You're with Adam Jeffries, Phil Hurd, and the Filming Footy crew. We'll be back with scores around the ground and second quarter action after the break. You're watching the Adelaide Footy League, thanks to Filming Footy.
Get a quick and easy low-rate car loan from Police Credit Union today.
We've been housemates for, what, nearly 4 years?
Yep, basically since I started my uni degree and you got your apprenticeship.
Yeah, it's been really good. Like, it's the little things, you know? Like, one of us is always around to house it when the other goes on holiday. And one of us is always ready to help the other out of jam.
I don't know. Yeah, happen again. It's usually me. My HECS debt doesn't leave a lot of room for holidays or working transportation or food. But it's worth all the debt, right?
No.
But what about your debt?
Debt isn't a problem for me. I get paid to learn.
You belong in blue. Apply for a career with South Australia Police.
Welcome back. A little bit of repair work happening right there, so I'd have to cover up all the tats. Doing quite the job there to make sure that's going to stay in place.
It's about $50 worth of tape, Phil.
Yeah.
The clubs, they spend so much money on tape.
It's not cheap, as you see some of the other players.
Some of them spend 20, 30 grand a year on tape, and looks like he needs it. Very sore shoulder there, but he's going to play on by the looks of it.
Yeah. So it is 5-0-30 for Golden Grove, 2-3-15 for Port District. Very dominant quarter from the Kookaburras. They'd probably be a little upset they let that goal in right at the death knell of the quarter.
Yeah, they were dominant on the scoreboard, but they weren't dominant in field position and around the ground. Port District's won the centre bounces 4-1. They won the inside 50 16-9, so 9 inside 50s for Golden Grove for 5 goals, and that's just the class of Pascoe, Glenn, Templeton that they've got. Those guys that just can kick the ball to each other. You can see Coach Ramsey's quite animated. He's not always that animated. He's more of a strategic type of coach. But I think he's a little bit disappointed in some of the defensive efforts there. They just looked easy to play against, Phil, for want of a better word. And that's not really going to get the job done in September, is it? They've prided themselves, Port District, on being a hard football team to play against. So Golden Grove did what they like at times with transition. 3 of their 5 goals, Phil, went from defensive 50 to a goal, which shouldn't happen on a windy day against a good defensive team. Some teams go weeks without scoring a goal, going from back 50 to a goal. They normally come from turnover in your front half. So he'll be disappointed, but they got those 2 goals back late, a couple of set shots from their class players, and they're only 15 points behind. Let's see what Golden Grove dish up to the left of the screen this quarter.
Some scores from some of the other games at Park 9, Prince Alfred and Glenunga. It's the Rams 22, Prince Alfred 8, so Glenunga trying to go 14-0, lead by 14 points. Teacher Gully and St. Peter's, big match, quarter time at Pertaringa Oval. Teacher Gully are 9, St. Peter's 13, so low scoring affair. Spock by 4. Payneham, Norwood Union and Brighton 13-11 to the Falcons, just a 2-point lead, of course. We have no idea of those games who hasn't had the breeze. You can see the past players group backs to the game at the moment, enjoying each other's company. I think they're celebrating the 2014 and the 2004 premiership.
They're great days. I attended one last week, Phil, a 10-year premiership reunion, and they are great days. So I hope those boys are having a good time in there.
Is 10 years sort of the perfect one?
Yeah, no, they're not all too old. The only problem is you've still got guys playing. So
Yeah.
to getting everybody together can be an issue because blokes are still playing at other clubs, or some might be out here playing now still. Whereas 20 years later, no one should be playing, should they?
I
Phil?
don't know, but I can tell you that we had Nick Preston, Josh Ingram, and Todd Shepherd all made their A-grade debuts in 2012, so could well have been part of 2014. I'll leave that for Hugo to look that up at some point. Lyset doing it all by himself. Of course, Port District in the black going to the right of your screen now. And if you recently joined us, Port District won both of the minor grades today, the C's by 23 and the B's by 4. But their A's are going to have to perform a bit of a comeback to claim the hat-trick today. They have the ball at the moment. Lyset, happy to play that roaming role. Spots up Hawkins. And I reckon the more you see Lyset doing stuff around the ground, the better Port Districts will be. Gray's kick towards, well, it's inside 50, but again, who touches it first? In the end, it's pretty much a draw. Just not hitting the target inside 50. They're moving it forward, at least until Glenn arrives with the tackle. And it will be a ball up about 20 metres out.
Yeah, we've got to give Scott Lyset credit, don't we? He's been moving around the ground pretty well, hasn't he? He hasn't been dominant in the ruck today, but he's actually finding possessions around the ground.
Oh, have a look at that!
That was Carpeney over his head at the stoppage. Well, hopefully Hugo can bring up a replay of that because he is, in a split second, thrown that on the boot over his head for a goal in the right forward pocket there.
Right, don't blink, folks, because you might miss it. So,
Carpeney's just on his own.
Yep, by the behind post.
And bang.
Tapped, and thank you very much.
That's a sensational
If Port
goal.
Districts get up, that could well and truly be a near-morph magic moment. Certainly the solo goal of the day, we've seen some great team build-ups. As you can see, some of the kids here, brothers and sisters about to play at halftime, I think. Good to see the youngsters here enjoying their time at Harpers Field. The juniors will be out in force here tomorrow across this and the bottom oval as well. Johnson's in the middle. He got a boot to it under pressure. It's an effective kick because it ends up with Pittman. His hand pass for Zanopoulos was a little bit hot. In the end, it will be a stoppage.
You see that with the ball up happening so close here, Phil, both teams are electing not to have the far side wingman. He just wouldn't be involved in those centre bounces.
So Port District have kicked 3 of the last 4 goals, I'm pretty sure.
And just snuck back into this game nicely, haven't they? And Carpeney again with a great pick-up.
Yeah, and he's done that inside 50. There's a target. Probably one of the better inside kicks for Cockatoo Collins. Had to try and pick it up from ground level. Now Batty's surrounded. Had a few defenders. There should be a few free Port District players. In the end, Carpeney gives away the free. Will go the way of Thatcher. Thatcher was initially assigned the job on Batty today. Not sure if that's who he's got at the moment. Looks more like Carpeney. Kick is intercepted. And it's going to be Matthew Rose who's going to think about this now because
this will give us a test of the breeze, won't it,
will.
Phil? He's gone short.
Short kick misses. Good pressure from the Golden Grove defence. But Port District spills out to them. Gaffney tries the same trick again. No open play. Glenn, 1-2. Nicely back to him. Brings it down the club room side and spots up McKelvey. McKelvey wastes no time. Looking for Salter. Getting in the way was Banwell. On to Dodd. Dodd's kick looking for Pascoe. They couldn't quite connect up. Pascoe's kick though back to McKelvey. They'll try a different way. Not the most prettiest kick, but it's got the job done of getting it from to Glenn. He's kicked to Pittman, a bit of pressure. Spills to Shenton from the pocket. Drills it. Cam Shenton, the goal sneakers, kicked a goal in his last 3 games. Round 12, round 13, now round 14. And So just always seem to be one free Golden Grove player. Oh, it gives the don't argue to Haynes. It's probably the Neomorph magic moment for the Kookaburras.
Yeah, not too far off. Just looking at his positioning, he's going back onto the football here as well. So he's just sort of putting himself where he wants to at the moment. And he's a tricky matchup, isn't he? I think, like I said, he's having a bit of trouble behind the ball, but he's playing as a genuine ruck rover at the moment, Phil, and that's probably why he's been able to just drift behind the ball, drift forward of the ball, put himself where his team needs. Great goal.
Margin back out to 15 where it was at quarter time, so both teams have kicked a goal, and Golden Grove probably needed that steadier, keep their buffer. McKelvey. Apologies to Pascoe, kick around the body, bouncing ball, don't tell me! Luxor Fortune Slater, sorry. Yeah, my name's all mixed up today. Slater could not believe his luck. He could not have hoped for a better bounce. It eluded all the defenders. Lobbed in his lap with an open goal beckoning. Pascoe say that was exactly the way I intended it.
Yep, thank you very much if you're Slater. 7 straight goals, Phil, from 12 inside 50s, Golden Grove. That's the definition of efficiency.
So what's that? That's 3+ points per inside 50.
Yeah, they can't keep that going all day. But if Port Districts don't put a little bit more pressure on around the ball, maybe they can.
I think the game high was 21. We're back to that. Well, I got to give Robinson, he's outmatched by an AFL veteran ruckman. He's trying everything. Johnson's about to get under a bit of pressure. Got the hand pass out. Some quick hands. McKelvey slipped over at the unfortunate moment. Picked up by Sharon. Indian spots up Thatcher pretty well. They've got numbers. They just always seem to have numbers. There's Johnson again. He was in the middle. His kick. There's been some interesting bounces of the Sharon this afternoon, because some places are soft, some are rock hard. And the rock hard places, that ball is really bouncing high. I think it was touched. Should be a throw in at the attacking edge of the mighty Kookaburras banner. Oh no, it's coming back a fair bit. Couple out on that wing. Not sure if they're protected from the wind or not. In front of that banner. Free kick. Going the way of Golden Grove. Pittman will get the worm burner. Everyone claiming a touch, it will be a throw in. But we do thank Archie's, they're so good, they've got over 50,000 5-star reviews. That'll be part of our prize collection. I think, Adam, you've got the job of doing the in-depth interviews.
Oh, that's there's going to be in-depth.
No, they got to be
30
quick.
for 30 ESPN stuff.
They got to be quick. Just get a vibe from the players, that's fine.
I think they'll want a warm shower.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, maybe see if James will take it down the tunnel and do it there. Okay. Umpire balls it up. Throws it up. Sharon to Gray. That's how it's done. You see the ball right now really held into the breeze, but Preston Cockatoo Collins attacked it well, has got the mark.
He'll have to go slow here, look for a lateral pass just so his forwards can reset forward of the ball. Played that well, Cockatoo Collins.
Waited for the open man to get there. Sheridan support got the oncoming hand pass, but here's Golden Grove on the counter, although poor kick, chance for Gray, Cooper Gaffney. Some of the kicking hasn't been great in the last couple of minutes, Adam.
Yeah, that's just, probably trying to be a little bit too cute, Phil, on a couple of those passes.
Just on the edge. Where it's probably getting a little bit softer and softer now. 9 minutes gone. 3 goals kicked. Golden Grove have kicked 2 of those. Port District kicked the first, after kicking one just before the siren in the first quarter. So I guess the last 4 goals 2 apiece. Haynes at one end of the cricket pitch tries to go forward, only finds Kane Blades. Johnson wants it. Blades goes forward and Joey Haynes intercepts. Game opening up a little bit, but the skill level's probably dropping a tad as well. This is Nash Haynes. There's Hunter Carter for Port District's coming, puts the pressure on the force. So that's a little construction site. Everybody coming here has to just walk that little path,
The blue
by
carpet.
the boundary. Eventually be a bit more of the community club facilities, and I would suspect a bit more car park. Johnson in the ruck. Only tapped it as far as Sharad though. Chance here for Port District because the Golden Grove defender attacked the ball. Now it's got past him. They've worked it in the pocket to Hunter Carter. His high kick around the body. Cockatoo Collins had the position but just couldn't bring it in over his shoulder.
Just watching Robinson in the ruck. He's doing really well against Lysett, isn't he? Lysett hasn't been able to get any of those pure taps for some pure clearance for Port Districts. So he's doing really well, and we've seen a bit of third man up as well. So they've really disrupted Port Districts at the stoppage so far.
A rare stoppage inside Port District's 50. Last time they had one, they kicked the goal.
That ball's
That
almost
was
gone
the
up
one
and
I
down
thought
and
for a sec.
backwards.
Surely not two. Harry Hawkins' kick went more up than across. Interesting play there by Slater to just try and two-fist it out of bounds.
Umpire's found a free kick.
Yeah, or it was. No, it couldn't have been for deliberate, surely, because that rule doesn't exist.
No, I believe he paid a little push,
little
holding
push.
in that marking contest.
Yeah, that makes sense. Joey Haynes into the pocket. Ingram with a punch. Again, Glenn being one of a couple of Golden Groves that really work well in tandem.
He's done well to get over and touch that to force
Yeah,
a stoppage.
did that very well.
It's like a rugby sevens touchdown.
Yeah.
Which is an important part of that last touch rule, though, isn't it, Phil? Players hustling to get a mid on it, which
Yep.
I think's good. That's one of the good parts of the rule.
It almost like claims possession for that part of the field rather than getting the claims position, sorry, for that part of the field. 12 minutes gone, second quarter. Districts were threatening, but Golden Grove have kicked the last two to regain. And they still have a good probably 10-15 minutes left of this rather cold and Antarctic-like breeze. And I think being breeze is underselling it a bit.
Probably got to give a shout out to that boundary umpire on the far side, Phil. He's doing a mountain of work and the throw in straight into the teeth of the breeze. So shout out to that boundary umpire on the far side of the ground, doing a great job.
And hang on, let me count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 people along that fence line in the deck chairs. That's 6 layers of clothing. Lysett break free. Good two-handed tap. Almost giving credit for the look-away hand pass. It seemed to work to Sharad. He got it back to Hawkins. First didn't succeed for him. He got a kick away. And well, Port District gained about 30 metres out of all that.
We don't have the player-by-player statistics, Phil, but Sharad has had a lot of the ball in this game, hasn't he?
He's had a lot. He'd be their number one possession getter, you'd have to
by a
say.
mile at the moment. He's been a good player. Big couple of minutes coming up for them, though, isn't it, Phil? You get the next goal, Golden Grove. It's going to be a long way back for Port Districts, but they just need to keep the scoreboard ticking over, hang in there, get the next goal here.
It's almost that they're supposed to concede more. Oh, they've worked it well. Sammy Gray from the boundary.
It's another contender for goal of the day, that one. Hopefully Hugo's got another replay. Sammy Gray's he hasn't had a lot of the ball, hasn't he? But he's inserted himself twice. But that was around the boundary. Got the 1-2 back from his teammate and kicked a great goal.
So let's see, how did he get goals?
So he started
just
at the stoppage.
Charged at it and it sat for him.
In.
1-2.
Yeah, that's a fantastic goal by Gray. He's more than capable of that, obviously. They need him to insert himself into the game more because he's capable of deeds like that. Yeah, that's 2 contenders for goal of the day for Port Districts thus far. There's been some great goals in this game, Phil. We've got many contenders for the player of the day.
I mean, Carpenter's was a bit of individual brilliance. That was a beautiful setup with Hawkins and Gray together.
And again, Port Districts leading the inside 57-4 in this quarter, which is 23-13 for the match. So same scoring shots as well. So it's still game on.
Plus 10 inside 50s, minus 15 Scoring shots, it's all equal, 7 apiece. It's the efficiency of Golden Grove. They're going forward again, and that's a rare one that it didn't come off. Liam Ferns marking Glenn's kick inside 50. Shepherd battling with the ball. We don't have the Shepherd from Port District, so just the one Shepherd today.
No, there was no mission from the squad this year, I believe.
Yep.
Out to the country, to the Barossa Football League. They miss him, by the way. They're just really lacking another tall forward, aren't they? Port District's in their squad makeup at the moment.
Throwing half forward flank for Golden Grove. They're kicking to the left of your screen the second quarter, downhill with the breeze. I'll try and do up a tally of goals scored because we've certainly seen enough kicked to the other end to make a mockery of what we're trying to suggest. Waddy Statch has it and a 25-metre penalty. You can see there the breeze playing on his hair.
He's got a big job back there on Pascoe today as well. He's only a young key defender, Pascoe, and a very experienced forward. He's doing quite well so far.
I think he had McMahon the other week from Glenunga, so one way to learn. Want to be the best, play against the best.
We used to call it the cage, Phil. Full back against the good full forwards. Not where you always wanted to be.
Sharrett. Yes, and I guess in some ways, if you're a youngster and learning the game, it's probably good to have the one assignment, mark this player, as opposed to being more that free floating player. Kick around the body and Lux a fortune there. Or do we give it, based on the skill level shown by Kenny Carpenter earlier, I've almost got to say that was planned.
And James Batty's first possession of the game, I reckon, fortuitous, and that's Port District's only first mark inside 50 this quarter. They've only had 2 for the match. Lysette in the first, Batty there with the fortuitous kick.
Well, the first one from Lysette ended up a goal. There's a high chance this one as well, but you actually have to kick it.
Which is done.
He does first today for James Batty.
It's a good little patch here for Port Districts. I only mentioned 5 minutes ago they need to hang in there. They kicked the last 2, so that scoreboard's tightening up a lot. You know, again, a lot more inside 50s. Now an extra scoring shot. Port District's well and truly in this match.
Well, it was 5 goals to 0 at 5 goals to 2 goals 3. So we haven't had a behind this quarter. We've had 5 goals kicked, 2 to Golden Grove. And that would have to be 3 to Port District because it was a 15-point margin. Now back to just 9. I got it back into single digits. Certainly been a good contest. Shetton, I think, got the best tap there. And he tries to go back and get it, quite hard on the ball. Districts are away. Sherrod's kick looking in the Batty direction. They're trying to get a quick inside 50, try and get some sort of
that might be holding the ball
advantage.
Again as well.
And Batty's going to take it, and this could make it a one-kick game. Kane Blades, the Kookaburra.
He's not the longest kick going around, Batty. He's not happy with the distance here. Might have to have a ping at it now. Great pressure. This is the difference between the first quarter and the second quarter. Phil, we weren't calling any chase down tackles, were we, from Port Districts? They've upped the ante in this quarter.
Batty about to go for goal. Called a player forward, which sort of gave away it was going to be a lead.
I don't mind that play from Batty, though. If he knows he can't kick the range, why kick it onto the line where it can get rushed through? And he's a bit unlucky, Carpenter, not to take the mark, but it looks like he's won the free kick anyway. Again, this will be a tricky shot. Be interesting to see what he does. Skilled player, Carpenter. He's played a lot of SANFL football.
I've got no idea with this breeze where he puts this. In the end, he puts it into the pocket. Back to Batty, who's met by Thatcher. Touched out of bounds. That's one way of describing it. And it will be a throw-in. Pretty congested. Forward 50 space for Port District as we tick over 19 minutes. 9-point Golden Grove lead. But Ditters are in the middle of a purple patch. applying the pressure. Dodd managed to get the underground hand pass out. Now the kick. Hot Footy to get midway through. Bit of a soccer. Umpire said held on to. 20 seconds from time on here at Harpers Field. Half time will get you some scores around the grounds that we can. This Golden Grove's a rare inside 50 in the last 5 or 6 minutes. As shallow as it gets, Liam Phelps pretty much marking just inside the arc.
Oh. You can see the ball's just a magnet out to that far side of the ground. Again, that boundary umpire, he'll enjoy his Gatorade at half-time, Phil.
Need to change. Well, that's the coach's bench. We'll let Wakefield Sports and Exercise Medicine Clinic sponsor them as well. Quite a fair gap between the different coaches' boxes with the grandstand and the construction site in the middle.
Just starting to get on top right around the ground, aren't they? Phil, Port District's around the stoppage. Easy takeaway there. Now Carpenter's looking
Here's
dangerous.
the man by the boundary, looking and finding Cockatoo Collins. And can you believe it? It was 21 points about 6 minutes ago. Now it's down to just 3.
That's a great 3-goal burst by Port Districts. Carpenter's looked lively in the last 5 minutes, but he's had lots of opportunities. That was a tremendous kick. That kick pierced 3 Golden Grove defenders, and Cockatoo Collins was able to take the mark and play on and kick the goal. So tremendous play by Carpenter. He's a class player. He's the type of guy they need to find the ball in the front half of the ground because they will score if he gets it. So great little fight back by Port Districts. It's been built on some pressure, Phil. Pressure around the ball. Golden Grove not able to chip in the ball around and do what they liked. Everything's been in a contest, and Port Districts right on top.
6-goal quarter. Port Districts have kicked 5 of the last 7. And they've kicked the last 2. Sherrod has it. Not exactly the biggest amount of urgency. He really looks indecisive, and you can see why Golden Grove had everybody covered. Suddenly it looks to be much more, looking around, Adam, I can see it's one loose Golden Grove player, a kick behind the play, and Sherrod's going back to be the loose Port District player, a kick behind their play. From the centre, Ditters with the clearance to the 50. Hudson and Cockatoo Collins meet just without the football. Carpenter had it, he was tackled. Umpire says, let's just play on, shall we?
Tremendous pressure again from the Port District's forwards, locking the ball in and getting another repeat entry. Carpenter, I thought he was going to have a quick left foot snap. He had that little window of opportunity, just got caught.
Melbourne could take the ruck tap. Ditters with some numbers. Now they've got a chance. Comes back to Gray. Gray's kick is off the side of the boot. Oh my goodness. One bounce over the fence in front of that little grandstand they've got there. That was the old grandstand.
The old grandstand.
The old grandstand.
Certainly an upgrade where we are now.
It's probably about, ours is about 15 times the size. Gonna go for a long kick. License there. His pick up at ground level. His ground level work is actually exceptional for a ruckman. And all of a sudden it's Port District that are finding consecutive possessions. Miller Carter goes in, looking for Nash Haynes. Couldn't get it. Hable comes in the way.
Great contest by Haynes there.
The two Haynes combined. Joe with the bump. Nash with the pick-up. Almost 24 gone, and at the moment, this is quite a little bit of domination in field play by the team currently in third, Port District. It's at the 50 arc. Pittman will bring it across towards the new grandstand. 2-on-1. Suddenly it's Port District with the numbers at the contest. Sam Gray's got a target. Be too far out to score.
Gray's one that's certainly lifted in this second quarter, hasn't he, Phil? We barely called him bar that goal in the first quarter. He's had a lot of disposals around the ground. Great kick to a lead on that occasion.
Into the pocket, which suits Thatcher just fine. He centres the ball. That needs to be good across the face. It is. There's a loose player in Xanthopoulos. I think it's 3:14 left.
I think there's 3 minutes 14 left.
Yeah.
At least we're aware, Phil, not just time on.
Not just time on. I don't know. The older I get at him, the more I like not to know. Not like to the second.
As we've got a turnover here. And straight back to Port Districts.
Yeah, a rare inside 50 in recent times to Golden Grove. Unfortunately, one of the rare ones that they've totally butchered.
It's always easy in the commentary box, isn't it? But Templeton's
It's very easy in the
he's a
commentary
skilled,
box.
experienced player. They'll be disappointed with that as they forced another turnover here and straight back to Sharrett again.
Oh, my goodness. Intercept City at the moment. District, so let's try this a different way.
We'll have to get Tommy Javor onto the stats tomorrow. I'd love to know Louis Sharrod's numbers. He's been a bit of a colossus, really, in this half for Port Districts. I thought he was good when they were under pressure, and now some of his teammates have come with him.
Of course, Tommy Javor doing the very in-depth Division 1 report. Free kick found. Ball's disappeared. This is Templeton, I'm pretty sure, yep.
And he is capable from this range.
Very.
That breeze, he's got to hit it at the left post and swing it back.
That breeze is not getting any warmer, by the way.
No, it's a chilly day here.
Jeez.
You're probably better off being a player today, aren't you? That's probably the
Get
best
to
way
run
to keep
around.
warm. Yeah. Let's see what they need. This Golden Grove. They've been under the pump in the last 10 to 15 minutes.
She's put high. Got to come a long way back.
That ball is still carrying a long way down to that pocket, isn't it? He just leant back on that and it carried over the far side easily.
No score. 26.5 gone.
Didn't want to blemish the 7 straight goals.
No, that's it. Yeah, if we're going to miss, we're going to miss everything.
Sharrett again with another disposal on the kick out.
So we thought it might be a 10 goal to 8 kind of game. And at the moment it's 7-6 at just close to half time.
Yeah,
so
I wasn't counting on 13 goals, 3 being kicked in the conditions. Been some good goal kicking by both teams.
Scoring shots about right. Just the accuracy from both sides, to be honest.
If it was 3-6 to 7 behinds, we'd be saying what a dour affair it
yeah,
is.
exactly.
We?
Exactly.
So there's been some good passages of play. It's become more of a contest in this quarter, hasn't it? It was very free flowing and open in the first quarter. Not that Port Districts would have liked that. They've certainly tightened up in this quarter. It's been more of a Division 1 arm wrestle style of game with a bit of class from Carpeney and Gray that's got them back into this game.
Indeed. Into the final minute, I'm pretty sure. At least of game time. Could be.
So under a minute here. Can Golden Grove snatch one?
Well, Port District did just on the siren, and it really set them up for what's been a good second quarter. Gaffney's kick is smothered. That's how it's done. I reckon that was Josh Habel with the 1%er. Oh, the kids are out. I'm not sure if James can get a picture of this. He's surrounded by kids everywhere. Probably a bit close.
He's not a grumpy bloke, is he? He'll embrace it.
Get out of my way,
these
kids.
out of the way.
Who want these kids to the football game? No,
here we go,
Golden
Golden Grove. Quick snap.
Oh, there we go. Oh.
Got that snap just in the last few seconds there, but it just blemished their straight kicking.
Well, extends the margin from 3 to 4, 7-1 to 6-3. So Port District more scoring shots. Go figure. Joey Haynes goes with a high kick to the far side. Touch, so it'll be a throw in. So this should be the last set of play for the first half. It's been a great quarter for Port District. They have kicked 4 goals without a miss. Golden Grove with the breeze. I'm pretty sure they got the breeze, 2 goals, 1. But are they done yet? It's with Shepherd. They are, because that's the siren. We've got ourselves a footy game. A pretty dominant first quarter by the Kookaburras, matched by a pretty dominant second quarter by Port District. You can see the score in front of you, 7-1-43 to 6-3 39. We're going to take a break here with Adam Jeffries, Phil Erden, James, Elias, Hugo the producer. We'll give you some scores, we'll give you some stats, and we'll give you some analysis. But you're watching the Adelaide Footy League thanks to Filming Footy.
We've been housemates for, what, nearly 4 years?
Yep. Basically, since I started my uni degree and you got your apprenticeship.
Yeah, it's been really good. Like, it's the little things, you know? Like, one of us is always around to house it when the other goes on holiday. And one of us is always ready to help the other out of jam.
I don't know. Yeah, happen again. It's usually me. My HECS debt doesn't leave a lot of room for holidays or working transportation or food. But it's worth all the debt, right?
No.
But what about your debt?
Debt isn't a problem for me. I get paid to learn.
Get a quick and easy low-rate car loan from Police Credit Union today.
We've been housemates for, what, nearly 4 years?
Yep. Basically, since I started my uni degree and you got your apprenticeship.
Yeah, it's been really good. Like, it's the little things, you know? Like, one of us is always around to house it when the other goes on holiday. And one of us is always ready to help the other out of jam.
I don't know. Yeah, happen again. It's usually me. My hex debt doesn't leave a lot of room for holidays or working transportation or food. But it's worth all the debt, right?
No.
But what about your debt?
Debt isn't a problem for me. I get paid to learn.
Get a quick and easy low-rate car loan from Police Credit Union today.
Welcome back. Half time around the Adelaide Footy League and some interesting scores for sure and certain. Our game is close, much closer than it looked at quarter time. Payneham have broken away from Brighton. It was 2 points at quarter time. Brighton kicked one behind. Payneham kicked 4 goals. They lead by 25. As expected, Glenunga making pretty easy work of Prince Alfred so far, leading by 37 points. The big one is probably what we're seeing at
just up the road,
Pertaringa, where Spock got a decent chance of, I was creating upset is the right word. Now, if that happens, St. Peter's will go to 4 wins, Brighton will have 3.5, and Tea Tree Gully will have 4 wins. So it could be that St. Peter's, depending on the margin here, and it's only 15 points, it could completely flip, but the percentages have Tea Tree Gully at 47.33 and Spock at 45.18 coming into today. If Spock can make that a reasonable win, they could well leap out of relegation in a single bound, which would create a pretty big match the following week when Brighton plays St. Peter's. But or conjecture at the moment, but that's our halftime scores.
It's an exciting competition though, isn't it, Phil? It's great when 9th and 10th and 8th are playing and they're tight games and they mean so much. You know, these don't underestimate how much staying in Division 1 means to a lot of clubs. St. Peter's fought really hard last year to stay up. Tea Tree Gully's the surprise packet, isn't it? We thought probably Brighton and Spock would be battling it out. But yeah, Tea Tree Gully just need to find something in the second half of that game. I reckon they'll be feeling a bit flat, but they're only 15 points behind, so we'll be monitoring that through the afternoon as well.
Yep. Beautiful scene out here. We're looking out as Port District come out. They got to work themselves around because right now there's a kids game happening. You'll just get actually there's 2 kids games happening, which I reckon is absolutely fantastic, and suggest that a lot of clubs should have a look at that. Of course, the kids will be back tomorrow.
It's a great way for clubs to integrate their juniors with their seniors because they play on Sunday rather than country leagues. They all play together, Phil, and sometimes the clubs can be a bit segregated, not their fault, but great idea to get the kids here, bring the parents here to watch the A grade and really feel like a club. And hopefully those kids play A grade football one day. That's what they're trying to achieve.
Yeah, and we can see it all the way through. I mean, I think there are 3 players that didn't play for Golden Grove last year, and same with Port District. I mean, they're a great community club on the other side of the city. There's only 3 players of their 21 who didn't play for Port District last year, so a lot of them have been with the club all the time, and the only time they tend to leave is occasionally to be in a Sandford club development program or underage program.
You've seen the clubs that are in the higher divisions are they either the old scholar clubs with their pool and network or the clubs that have strong juniors, Phil, because you can't recruit like you used to. You've got to produce homegrown players. You can see Coach Ramsey coming around the boundary line. He would have been much happier with that second quarter. It was much more of a Port District style of game, more of a contest, more of an arm wrestle, and his small forwards going to work.
I can tell you it's got much breezier here, and I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to have some rain. Now, Mount Lofty, that's not huge distance from here. Currently 6 degrees, throw on the wind chill, it's 1.3. Adelaide Airport, down on the plains, 12 degrees, throw on the wind chill, it's 5.2. So you're telling me
it's 1 degree here right now, Phil? It's not far off. It is extremely chilly here.
It's certainly in the low teens.
And we are raining.
And the rain has arrived. Even before I could get onto the weathermeter, that's created a bit of a conundrum for all those mums and dads watching the junior footy to get off the oval in a hurry.
Yes, there is an exodus. It's beautiful club rooms here, Phil. We mentioned I went inside before. It is jam-packed inside, and I dare say there'll be another 100 people going in there now.
Yeah, and a cheerio to all those in the club rooms watching at the moment. I should add this little bit of rain, just having a look at it. It's not going to last, folks. It's with this breeze, it's going to be gone before you know it. There's even a rainbow already. A rainbow above the past players' tent.
Golden Grove might be doing their halftime warm-up inside, I reckon.
That's not a bad idea. The kids are in full voice already. This reminds me of the Eagles Carnival Day in the Sandford that I helped organise a few years ago. I believe your lad's playing in it tomorrow.
Yes. Let's hope the conditions last couple of years been very cold and muddy at Woodville Oval.
They all want to shake hands, but they do need to leave a little bit of room. And I hope James...
I don't think the senior boys want to come out. I think they're staying in the warm. Yeah. Great to see, though, Phil, isn't it? Big crowd here at Golden Grove today in the middle of winter. Great to see.
Yeah.
Not a lot of space, kids.
Good to see. And I'm actually pretty sure the players would appreciate this support as well.
Oh, yeah. You go to a lot of local football games on a July day like this, Phil. There's maybe your grandma's come to watch you play, and that's about it, right?
Yeah.
So there is a really good crowd here today.
And a wonderful vibe with all the kids and families as the rainbow starts to extend. And the rain, I think it's come and it's gone. Any showers we do get are going to be here 1 minute, gone the next. And hasn't this game flipped as well? And it's not just flipped once, it's flipped quite a few times with goals coming in spurts.
It's a tricky one, isn't it? So Golden Grove in the first quarter, 9 inside 50s, 5 goals. In the second quarter, 9 inside 50s, 2 goals, 1. Port Districts are leading the inside 50 count 29-18 by me, Phil. So they've been dominant. But you could just see in that period from about 10 minutes to the 25-minute mark, Golden Grove had a few entries late that Port Districts were right on top. The ball was played in their front half when we thought they were going into the breeze. They kicked 4 straight goals from those entries, which is so crucial. And there were some real classy plays, wasn't it, from Carpeney and Gray and Cockatoo Collins that got their goals. And they need their small players, and Batty kicked their others. So they don't have a recognised tall forward to score the goals for them. They need their smalls to create scores, and they did it in that quarter.
Is it going to be Lysett resting up forward?
haven't really, I didn't even notice him come off the ground. He just sort of rucks the game out. I don't think they like him as a forward. I don't think he loves playing as a forward. I think he gets frustrated. He'll drift down there on slow plays
Because he's
if he
kicked
can.
7 goals.
Yeah, he for a big fella, he doesn't have that awkward ball drop, does he? He's actually quite a neat set shot for goal. But I don't think he likes just hanging back. I think he likes being in the middle of the ground with a free rein. He's had a good battle with Robinson thus far. 4-point game, 3rd versus 5th. Let's go.
All right, 3rd quarter. We're in the dry spot here. I don't think that was the case here. Lysett went through his hands, and we're going to have a restart.
What Robinson's done really well, Phil, against Lysett is Lysett likes to grab it and kick it, and he hasn't allowed him to yet, but he got a nice palm down there.
Yeah, there was a player, Carter for Goodwood, used to do that quite often, and I don't think it's happened once today. Port District, the first inside 50, instantly repelled, and you can see it is a hard ground despite the wintry conditions, and we have had some rain this week. There's a few mud patches, not a lot though. I reckon this is one of the better. In fact, I'll be surprised if there is a better ground in Div 1 in terms of lack of mud. Oh, we've even got Qatar's come to join us. Sorry guys, don't have the flight radar up like last week. But I think it's the same plane. We saw Qatar fly in last week. Probably flying over Broadview on their way in, come to think of it.
One of the things to know is one of the luxuries Golden Grove have here, Phil, is the training ground behind.
Yes.
So they can look after this deck, and you can see it's a big difference.
Whereas I'm thinking of Broadview and I'm thinking of Paynham. They've just got the one oval and a lot of kids, plus seniors, to fit on it. Towards that outer wing, Port District have some numbers. Waiting for the hand pass was Haynes, that's Nash Haynes. Threw some hands at forward 50. It was Payne who had it, handball to no one in particular.
Beautiful rainbow
Looks like
there.
It's rainbow day today.
And you can see Port District's, again, their inside 50 domination remaining the first 3 inside 50s of this quarter.
What was it, Roy G. Biv?
Yep.
The old how the rainbow prism breaks up. Pretty much we've got 3 of the colours here with gold and grove. Notice this no black and white out there.
Oh, nearly was considering holding the ball there. He almost gave up on the play and was waiting for the whistle.
Oh.
Port District's player played that cleverly.
It's been all Port District in terms of field position in the early 2 minutes. All Golden Grove have been able to do is clear, and I think they picked out Lysett.
Let's see what the big fella
target.
does here.
Because you think, can you have a shot, son?
You'll have to set the ball right over to the left, because this is the tricky spot, because it's not behind you, it's going across you.
So the case, he's put it up.
That will bring more rain. That's up and above, and not a lot of torque
that
behind the ball there.
That was a chip shot that went 50 metres. Problem was he kicked it from 56.
They'll take that, Port Districts. Another stoppage in their front 50. A lot of pressure on Golden Grove at the moment.
And we'll see if they can maybe draw a free kick in here, keep the pressure going, or row something special, just like that. But it's a miss to the far side. Broden Hawkins with the snap.
It's a different game from that first 20 minutes, isn't it, Phil? Just the pressure that Port District's around to get on, field position, dangerous at the stoppage there. They've had a couple of snaps and goals from their forward 50 stoppages.
Ground bathed in sunshine. Cockatoo Collins' kick is smothered, and then he takes it out on the smotheree.
And again, Johnston on the kick out. Extremely dangerous kick up the middle of the ground. Hasn't cost them yet. Looking for his partner in crime, Shenton, on more than one occasion in the corridor.
Abel, the one doing the smothering, lights at the tap. Payne and Pittman providing the double tackle there. I reckon that was a Golden Grove tap, but it went only as far as Port District. And it's tight in the clinches right now.
Oh yeah, a lot of numbers around the ball, which is what happens in a lot of Division 1 games. Kenny Carpenter's the one that's he's on the move here, looking dangerous. Had first hands, and he's flying through there on not able to take the ball. The other thing we should mention, Phil, as well, we haven't queried one umpiring decision today. How good have those blokes been?
Yeah.
We haven't gone once. Oh, that was 50-50. Great job so far by the men in yellow.
Absolutely.
And I've said it a few times. I watched country football last Saturday. The standard of umpiring in the Division 1 Adelaide Footy League is first class. Don't make no mistake about that.
Yep, probably shouldn't say first class and Jetstar in the same sentence.
No.
But
I hate Jetstar. I'm not allowed to say that, yeah. Hate flying Jetstar.
yeah, I sort of understand.
They're
At
not
times,
sponsoring the show, are they, Hugo, Jetstar? No.
Just quick look at Panic at our producer. Can we say that? Okay,
Great
there's a
outlet
grab.
mark here. And this is what happened in the first quarter, Phil. They had the
A
open
counter
field.
attack. One more to finish it. There he is. Pascoe to go down low. But he did it.
So that's a repeat of the first quarter, isn't it? Port
Yep.
District's all the field position, couldn't get a score. Golden Grove get out, and they've just got 2 or 3 guys that can just use the ball every time. And Pascoe hasn't had a lot of touches today, has he? But lining up for his third, they need an accurate kick from him here, right in front of the pass players.
They got the best view of the lot. Looking for the 14th goal of the game.
That's a beautiful kick.
He's dobbed it. And to show just how much of a football experts we are, there's been 14 goals kicked in this footy game. 10 of the 14 to the right of screen. 10 to 4.
So there is some method behind that, Phil. It can happen in games of football where, yes, the breeze is going to the left of screen, but what that does is all the numbers in the field drift that way.
You have the space
Yes.
for the counter-attack.
And you've seen Golden Grove on the counter-attack numerous times where they've got, in essence, Phil, 3v3 in one half of the ground with Glenn and these types of players where that's going to happen.
Whereas they struggled for space when they had the breeze.
So those counter-attack goals for Golden Grove are proving vital, with Port District's really on top in every other facet, bar the counter-attack goal.
8-1 to 6-4. Margin back out to 9. Fairness, I think Golden Grove have led from go to woe. The first score was a goal to them. Took a while for Port District to get on the scoreboard, even longer to get a goal. We have some footy. We're right in front of the tunnel here, hence the noise from the locals.
He always attracts a bit of attention, Louis Sharrod, doesn't he? Every game we call him, he's either giving it to the opposition or copping it, but he just gets on and gets the next ball. That's why he's a great player.
Now, our umpiring crew, you may look that that's a bit of a strange get-up in terms of what they're wearing today, as Pittman's kick in the Templeton direction out of bounds.
The inside-out gear.
It's the inside of their normal, because their normal would be, it's a little bit more green, and that would be a little bit of a clash with the Golden Grove. So no issue picking out umpires from Kookaburras this afternoon. All you got to do is wear your shirt inside out. Nice, that's tap. It's almost like there's a welcoming committee set up. We know license. Oh! Sure, he could do that. Now that's interesting.
The umpire
that
off the ball
was right
paid
in
that.
front of the controlling umpire, who saw it, dismissed it, and the non-controlling umpire from afar decided to pay it. Interesting. Because I'm pretty sure the controlling umpire had a pretty good view.
He couldn't have been any closer. Maybe he was too close. I'm sure they'll debate that at three-quarter time.
There you go, Lysette, the tap and the self-kick. He was had enough of tapping at the players getting tackled. Needs to be touched. It is. Slide safe into second. It's be a throw in. 8 minutes gone.
And again, if you're watching this game inside or at home, it is freezing here. It looks like a beautiful sunny day, doesn't it?
It's like that. I mean, it's like those shots you see at of Antarctica, where it's just this clear blue sky.
It looks warm.
And you wonder, how can there be ice? Well, it's because the temperature is freezing. It's certainly the coldest day in terms of throwing the wind chill that we've had in Adelaide this year, no doubt about it. Port District are going forward. They've got a man on the lead. Batty's taken the marquee. Thatcher was right there. But Batty was able to just get that little bit of separation to grab it.
He's a tough opponent, Thatcher, isn't he? That was a pretty good mark by Batty. It looked like a simple chest mark. The kick from Gaffney was absolutely perfect. Great little fat side lead there. Batty needs that space. It's hard for him to take a contested mark amongst the Giants. Normally accurate when he's within range, Batty, so this is a big shot on goal.
2 goals last week, 1 goal the last time they met. for a rare goal with the breeze.
It's a very nice kick.
Starts right, curls left. That's exactly where you got to put it. And Port District get their first goal in the second half.
So that goal started with Lysette winning 2 clear takeaways from the back half where they looked like they were under pressure. It was Gray and Gaffney waxing in the middle of the ground. A beautiful fat side kick. Now that's a beautiful finish. Now that looks easy as well, but when the breeze is going across your body, the ball drops so critical. Good contribution by Batty. Not a lot of possessions, but he's kicked 2. If he can kick 3 or 4, he's had a big day. I think we're going to see an arm wrestle for the next 45 minutes, Phil. This is turning into a great contest.
I think we've got the close one. 3 points, 10 minutes gone, third quarter. Batty, by the way, came into this 26 goals from 13, so that's 2 per game, and he's already got 2 this afternoon. Chance to have an above average effort. This is Ryan, the debutant, number 32, who's in there, who's winning the football. Well done, young man. The man from the Wagga Tigers. Spent some time with the North Adelaide Reserves and the GWS Under-18 Academy, which play in the old TAC Cup NAB League, now Coates League, I think it's called. The Under-18s. In theory in Victoria, but we all know that Victoria like to think that they're everywhere, and so they have the New South Wales teams in as well. Inboard kick to Gray. So next goal, if it's the Port District there in front for the first time this afternoon.
Nice intercept mark.
Mitch Payne. The intercept mark count, you mentioned Tommy Javor's report on between the posts, will be fascinating to see, along with goals from defensive 50, which I think you're keeping track of today, eh?
Yes.
You've got about 5?
Yeah, well, that's at least 4. They had 3 in the first quarter and 1 already this quarter, Golden Grove, from defensive 50 to goal.
And unlikely they would have had 1 in the second. This is not that style of game. Tap into space for Glenn to run onto. Looking for Pascoe. He was held onto, I think. Umpire concurs. He'll get the ball. There's a wave of green. Shenton is free. Had a space on Gray, also free. Oh. Coming in from nowhere was able, just a little bit too hard for him. And the ball ricochets off his chest. Holding the ball. And Port District needed that. They was under a bit of a threat there, but have managed to escape. Jack Gaffney has it on half back.
Oh.
He's kicked it and intercepted by Glynn. Is he too far out to score? He says so. Lou Johnson's not too far out to score. He's gone with a big roost.
Still in play.
Suck it off the ground. No.
I think we all thought that ball was dead and over the line, but it was still in play. Johnson's probably the one man on the ground that could have kicked that goal.
Yeah.
Looked like it was almost home.
In the end of behind. Just the second for Golden Grove. That's 8-2-50. Port District 7-4-46, 4-point margin, 12.5 gone. Of a third quarter that we thought for a minute might be in a rainstorm, but it's beautiful sunshine. Just the sun has no impact. Here's a bit of a coast-to-coast play for Port District. Oh, the hand pass for Piasante. If it had sat, he was there. In the end, it's Cooper Gaffney from the standing start. He doesn't need a run up.
There you go.
Gaffney has put Port District in front for the first time today with his opening goal of the contest.
It's gone under the radar a bit, Gaffney, but his skill is coming to the fore now. He set up the goal to Batty before with his leg. He only had one step really to kick that goal after the fumbled play. It was a beautiful passage from Port Districts. They don't often go end-to-end, coast-to-coast like that. They like a slower, methodical build-up. But that was a great goal by Gaffney. And yeah, he's becoming a major player, damaging player off half-back today for Port Districts. Great finish. And is it Port Districts are in front for the first time today?
Indeed. Now I've got, 8 goals, 4 to 8 goals, 2. I'm pretty sure. Let me just check. Yep. My scoreboard. Yeah, there we go. All scoreboards are in alignment. Kookaburra's clearance. Glenn, was that the intended target? No, it's going to be Templeton. In range, you think, although he's not really showing much signs of confidence here. puts it high. Wind took that probably further he thought, and in the end a wasted opportunity.
It's one of those wasted kicks, isn't it? Just needed to pull that kick another 5 metres. So even when the crumb happens, that you can put secondary pressure on the defence. Too easy to spoil through.
Doesn't get much closer than this. A 1 point lead to the visitors. They're in third spot, Golden Grove in fifth. If Golden Grove win, chances are it's a 1 win between 3 teams for third spot. A critical one that teams want to be to have a decent chance at getting to the grand final and having a crack at the premiership, which will be in Div 1, Saturday, September 22nd. I don't think we've had a venue confirmed. You've almost
been
got
at
to
Norwood Oval the last 4 or 5
has.
years, so I dare say it'll be that again.
And I can't see it being Theberton, because that should finally be under some sort of a reconstruction situation. They've been saying that for about 3 years.
I think the only thing that gets in the way at Norwood Oval is the AFLW will play there.
No, they're playing at Unley on the Sunday.
There we go. So
just before the Sandford Grand Final. That's a big weekend.
I hope it is at
Oh,
Norwood.
Lycett. Okay. Yeah, well picked up, Hugo.
He's
Lycett
all
a
right,
little
the big
bit
fella.
slower.
Imagine his rickety old joints on the cold day
I
like
was
today.
about to say, just keep moving, lad. Just keep moving. And can you believe players would have an ice bath after this game?
They won't
Would
be.
they need one? No, chance for Port District again. They have the lead. It's just 1 point by the boundary. Looking. And no, just out of the range of Hunter Carter. Back. No score.
Just moved the ball end to end themselves a couple of times, Port Districts, haven't they?
Yes.
Just finding some targets.
Caught Golden Grove flat-footed. It's how much petrol tickets did they use in the first half? And their tackling's improved as well. This is more the Port District defence.
Yeah, the pressure, even Carpenter's effort there just to make sure that mark wasn't taken was first class. We didn't see that in the first quarter as Carpenter takes the ruck against Shenton.
Kick away momentarily. Oh, how's that for a 1%er from Mitchell McKelvey? Watch this on your Dartfish Footy Stats replay.
You can see teams that love that stuff. They're celebrating like it was a goal. That's a fantastic effort.
Yeah. Well, you never know. Might just have saved one. Certainly saved it inside 50. Good read off the Lycett tap by Harry Hawkins. Loose ball 20 metres out. Golden Grove some numbers. High kick. Rose is there. No, Rose can't get there in the end. It is a kookaburra in there in the pocket. Too sunny to tell the number, unfortunately. Hunter Carter has picked it up. 70 out. Inside 50 and nice grab taken. They'll move it straight towards us, looking for Pittman, who's got a little bit of space. Chance to turn, keep it moving. Here they come, Glenn. Oh, nutmeg Sam Gray, if you don't mind. Pittman.
Can that be player of the day?
Yes.
There's been some great goals today. I'm not sure it can.
I can't remember last time Sam Gray got nutmeg, though. It's just with Golden Grove and the shock from that. And it's a free kick downfield. It's going to be Pasco's, I think. No, they're going to bring it back.
Must have been as he kicked it.
Okay. Into the pocket. Dodd. So we've seen some great stuff. We've seen McKelvey's smother, Josh Glenn's nutmeg. It's the sort of things that spark a team, isn't it?
Sort of things that players do when the result means something, Phil, as well. With the ladder the way it is, home game, past players' day, big day for Golden Grove. That's why you're seeing those efforts.
Well, I think this is kind of Dodd with the kick. Desperate kick away. Should be okay. Passaniti has it. Somehow finds some space. His kick, though, is going to get a beer at the past players' tent. It's going to be Golden Grove ball. Centering plays. Yeah, that could have been interesting if it was intercepted. Xanthopoulos has it.
Another risky kick, but they found a target.
Yeah, this is back to Ingram, who started all this from the boundary. Pasco did everything except hold on to it. Oh, gee, I'll tell you what, they're both playing with a bit of audacity at the moment, both teams. The kick forward, there was 3 Golden Grove players to raffle it. Thatcher was the furthest one back. He's got some time to set. And I think what we're seeing at the moment, Adam, is if you've got the skill to deliver a proper kick, you're going to find players in space now. Umpire said play on. Pascoe in the square.
The umpire has paid a free. Not sure what it's for. It's going to Pascoe, is it?
Yeah.
I'd like to see a replay of that potentially. I thought maybe he was held on in the initial marking contest, but that's not where it was paid. Maybe he's paid holding the ball, has he?
Possibly. Joey Haynes, not too often you'll see him caught.
Lining up for his 4th goal, where to me Modestack has done a pretty good job on him with some really good spoils, but making the most of his opportunities.
Well, when they come in quick, he's been able to do it, and most of all, his kicking has been elite today. 4 goals after 3 last week. That gives him 20 for the season. He's chasing Mitchell Slater, who's got 22 for the leading goal kicker for the Kookaburras this year, and Golden Grove get their lead back, 9-3-57, Port 8-4-50. That's on the Hahn scoreboard. And Adam, it's not just the Hahn scoreboard. Whilst you were away, it became the Hahn Ultra Zero Carbs scoreboard.
Jeez, there's a mouthful. Well, I need 0 carbs, so that's fantastic news by Hahn.
You need them? I need a beer with negative carbs. Drink this, we'll take your carbs away.
Well done to Pascoe, 4 goals in a tough day for forwards, really. He's made the most of his opportunities as they go with another centre clearance.
Oh, Johnson, how did he escape 3 Port District defenders? Into the past player's pocket.
Just having a nice 5-minute patch here, Golden Grove. They've only lost the inside 50 count by 1 this quarter, going into the breeze, 9-8 in Port District's favour. Again, we say it a few times, but a big 3 or 4 minutes coming up. I think there's 3.5 minutes to go in proper time.
As weird as it sounds, Port District are going to be kicking to the scoring end in the final quarter. We've had basically 2 goals each kicked here. Throw in a couple of behinds from Golden Grove, and they've actually, at the moment, won the quarter by 2 points. Of course, the quarter ain't done yet. I can hear all the Port District fans saying that I've gone early.
Again, I say this most weeks in the coverage. I don't understand those handballs to a guy that's just under pressure. Kick the ball yourself.
Now, a handball like that to force the 1-2, that's how it's done. Payne, was he collected afterwards? He is. That's here. Downfield. There's been a couple of those. In fact, there's been some words said, and Pascoe.
And the umpire has paid another 25, so he's going to be on the goal line here.
And Pascoe is doing the right thing and saying, no, okay, I won't take the kick. He's on the goal line. He can go on the goal square, can't he?
Yes, he probably should, but it doesn't matter.
Slater has 3.
Not sure what happened there. I think the downfield free kick was paid. The initial free kick wasn't against Lysette, and then Lysette maybe a little bit of staging and gave a little forceful push, and down he went.
You can see Josh Glenn in the vicinity of Lysette, and that would have probably been to have said a few words about the situation.
I was just about to say as well, I thought Lysette was starting to get on top around the ball. He'd won a few clearances. He won a couple of free kicks from infringements. They'll be disappointed with that Port District's Golden Grove having a nice little patch here.
Yeah, plenty of advice coming from the past players' tent today. Probably saying, gee, you know, this is soft, wasn't like an R day. You've had an interesting battle between the team, the players that played in senior premierships, again with the team that's playing at the highest level in club history, looking for their first premiership at this level, of course, in their first year. Templeton manages to read that bouncing ball a little bit better. Nice work working through Hable. Templeton had to stretch but got it. 1-on-1 contest. Pascoe, Modisach was good. Glenn was better. The pickup around the body needs a big curve. Shane Warren would have been proud of that one, but it was too much to change.
Just been so dangerous that end of the ground, Golden Grove, haven't they, with the open field with their class players, as Haynes has gone on a long kick out.
That has travelled halfway to the ground. That's travelled beyond the tee saucer. Wow.
So that breeze is still a factor going down into that side of the ground.
Monty Satch with something similar now. It's, yeah. Love to know the number of defensive marks that Golden Grove have taken today.
Thatcher again. He's been very good again today. He said he was a bit unlucky last week, Phil, as we played a great game last week.
Three-quarter time is reasonably imminent, maybe a couple of minutes, and it will be time for you, Adam. We got a few things to work out, because mine's usually the magic moment.
It's been a few today.
And I've got a problem, because I really can't go beyond nutmegging Sam Gray.
Despite some of the fantastic goals we've seen. Yeah.
Is that just my small mind amused by small things?
It was a different moment. We got an award for that.
Yeah, exactly. Unique. Nice found a free to Golden Grove.
Another free kick. So just getting on top here, Golden Grove.
Maybe Ryan has it.
And there's only a minute and a half to go. So a goal either way again here.
Yeah, it's that 8 point. It is a margin, but one that can be quickly erased. There's Gray. Haynes. And on to Hunter Cut. Of course, we've got Hunter, we've got Miller. He's run into trouble, somehow eluded. Now District showing a bit of pace. Bring it down the club room side. Tapped on forward by Broden Hawkins. Who's there inside 50 for Ditters? Not much. Hand pass to Shenny. Seems to have an acre of space. Gets the kick away before Rose. And it's a wave of green here if they can pick it up. Dobie can. Got Ingram in support. Hand pass didn't really help the situation. And in the end, it was good work by Jack Gaffney to stop the potential move forward by the Kookaburras. Put it right in front of our cameraman that'll put you right in the thick of it. Any closer, you'd need some player insurance.
Good umpiring there, not to fall for the little fall down there. Stoppage, Phil, minutes ago. Stoppage right in the middle of the ground. Let's see what happens. Goal either way is crucial.
Let the men be men and push each other around, so be it. Will it sit for Gray? It really didn't. But there's still a chance. I think that was Sherrod's kick. And again. Gee, it'd be frustrating. It is Thatcher again. He was a bit stiff last week, Adam. I know, just giving you the.
He's played a very, very good game again today. He's a good lockdown. Oh, he's made a mistake. Not sure if that was touched or not.
Was that touched? Everyone out there saying it wasn't. It wasn't. Piasane's going to have it. Remember, it was a throw. There's 10 seconds left.
Rose won't know that. They would love to have had a left footer there. I was just wrapping up that, just saying what a great game he's played, and he just missed the target.
Yeah, that'll do it every time. So, it's not for the lead. Rose is going to put it up.
Wow.
I'll tell you what, that's another near-morph mouthguard magic moment from Port District, and again for the second time to that end. Port District have scored a goal off a Golden Grove error to stay in this contest. You can see it right there. It is one goal in it. It is Golden Grove 10-4-64, Port District's 9-4-58. And in theory, Port District are coming home to the scoring end. You're with Adam Jeffries, Phil Hurd, and the Filming Footy crew. We'll be back with all the action after this break. You're watching the Adelaide Footy League. Thanks to Filming Footy.
Get a quick and easy low-rate car loan from Police Credit Union today.
We've been housemates for, what, nearly 4 years?
Yep. Basically, since I started my uni degree and you got your apprenticeship.
Yeah, it's been really good. Like, it's the little things, you know? Like, one of us is always around to house it when the other goes on holiday. And one of us is always ready to help the other out of jam.
I don't know. Yeah, happen again. It's usually me. My HEX debt doesn't leave a lot of room for holidays or working transportation or food. But it's worth all the debt, right?
No.
But what about your debt?
Debt isn't a problem for me. I get paid to learn.
You belong in blue. Apply for a career with South Australia Police.
Well, you can see some of the shadows starting to come across the field here at Harpers Field. We've got ourselves quite a game. It is Golden Grove 10-4-64, Port District 9-4-58. And whilst to the left of screen is downhill and has the breeze of the 19 goals kicked, I've got about 12. I think it's 12-7 to the end that Port District are going through. Our awards, our best player will receive the Archie's footwear, the Dartfish beanie and the New Balance Belgravia apparel voucher. Our best team man, the Moseley Bar and Kitchen Award, and the Neomorph mouthguards for the magic moment, of which we have had quite a few this afternoon. That'll be with Adam Jeffries at the end of this game. And fair to say, Adam, at the moment we have to consider how we do the awards with two different outcomes to this football game.
Yeah, 6-point game. Does make it tricky for the aftermatch because we like to go to the winning team and let the opposition, the losing team, go and drown their sorrows. But this is what we want, Phil. We want close Division 1 games. It's been a really entertaining game, I thought, with the conditions that it may be a lower scoring, but we've seen some very accurate goal shooting. Port Districts have kicked, I think, 7 goals won since quarter time after missing a few shots early. Golden Grove extremely accurate as well. So we've seen accurate goal scoring. We've seen some great passages of play from end to end, particularly Golden Grove. When they've gone into the breeze, they've had an open field on occasion. They've really strung together some nice passages of play. Port Districts have probably been the stronger team for mine since quarter time. Even in the first quarter, they had a lot of inside 50s, but I thought they weren't applying the same amount of pressure as they are now. So yeah, it's certainly game on. Both teams will think they can win. And in these games, Phil, it just comes down to little moments and little actions, accurate kicks for goal, hitting the pass inside 50, not missing a tackle. And that's all the coaches will be asking for. But the players know that. There's not really a lot coaches can do. Both coaches haven't really shuffled the magnets around a lot too much. Their players have been stuck in their set positions, their best lineups, and now it just comes down to players taking moments. So it's going to be a great last quarter. Looking forward to it.
Well, we've had some changes in the other games. Can tell you, most other games are either at three-quarter time or a few minutes into the final quarter. Tea Tree Cully, probably the biggest change. They currently lead St. Peter's by 6.75 to 4-5. Payneham, Norwood Union and Brighton got back to a 10-point margin. Payneham have just goaled, it's out to 16. And Glenunga lead Prince Alfred Old Collegians by 53 points, well on their way to a 14-zip start. Because those games look to be all ahead of ours, that means we should be able to give you results pretty much as soon as ours is over. But who's going to win this one? What are your thoughts, Adam? We both tipped Golden Grove by a few goals.
Yeah, that's looking okay. Not surprised that the game's in the position it is. Like I said, it's been a high-quality affair against two finals aspirants. Golden Grove in front of a big home crowd just to hang on by a goal, Phil.
Umpire. With the ball up, lie set to Gray. It spills forward for Port District without any clear possession. Kicking around the body was Dynhoff. We've already had our rain as Cockatoo Collins couldn't take the mark. Sharrod, again, they're just moving it forward without looking particularly pretty in the process, Port District. Golden Grove are clearing kick for the moment. Jack Gaffney picks it up in front of what's a fairly unique scoreboard here, the Kookaburras with the logo and the teams. And this is where the scoreboard's really tested because the sun is right on it.
Beautiful big logo and tiny little numbers, Phil.
Yeah. I think I have a thing about electronic scoreboards you may have picked up, the ones that go goal, goal, goal when you're trying to give people the actual score. So I don't mind a scoreboard that keeps to its job. But, yeah, sometimes those numbers can be a little bit hard to see. Golden Grove to clear it off half-back. Good long penetrating kick, and Ingram, who's been a good link man today, marks in front of Piazzati.
And 25 metres there.
25 for running into the zone, not standing on the mark.
Correct call there. He was on his arc, and he's just run straight through there. And I love the penalty in the Adelaide Footy League. Just 25, 50 metres is too harsh.
Yeah, 50 is such sudden death, isn't it? For what is an infraction, don't get me wrong, but does it deserve that penalty? Probably not. And a lost opportunity there for Golden Grove. Davidson takes the grab. Looking for Cockatoo Collins, who got it, got the hand pass out, did well under difficult circumstances. Ingram came a little bit of headhunting there. Hunter Carter with the free. Told to just take some time with this.
The other thing it comes down to is composure as well, Phil. Even then he wanted to play on. Just sometimes a little bit of composure. He's just kicked it 25 metres to the opposition's best player. So they're the things that you can't have in this last quarter. Every possession matters. And again, that's Port District's lack of a tall forward. They just don't want to go long and get a contest, and that was a classic example. It was when they need one.
The other Carter infringed against Josh Glenn, who's put it into the pocket. Look at the coach. Look how many coaches have they got there. Just a sea of blue down on that bench. Need a bigger table. Again, Lycett at the tap. Glenn the pick up. Hurried out of it. Ryan comes in, the debutant. Mention young Ryan from the Wagga Tigers, which he played last year, 16 senior games, 5 goals. I think it's the Riverina competition. And it's Miller Carter at the top of the arc of defensive 50. Spots a Gaffney free. Look at the breeze take that. That breeze was so strong, it blew the boundary umpire over. Blew the ball out of bounds.
It's a fast outfield, isn't it? That ball just kept carrying.
It's blown the ball over the fence. How lucky are we that there's a gate there? That gate wasn't there. We could have a 5-minute hold-up getting that football back. But it's with Kane Blades. Uses the breeze. That little pocket there has grown. That looks like the B grade or the C grade gathering as a group to watch the game in their little pocket. You can see the ruckman. Tom Robinson for Golden Grove. Scotty Lycett for Port District. So a bit of a jumper hold there, Adam.
Umpires won't pay too many ticky touch in this last quarter. They've been really good all day. They'll pay what's there in this last quarter, which is what you want.
They've let, you've spoken the words now. We'll see. Hopefully that rings true. And you're right, they have been very good today. Hable to Johnson. He's got a target. Too far out to score. Here's the big kick over Ryan's head. Shanturn couldn't quite get there. Ingram's ready to lay the tackle. Not sure Nash had the footy by the time that was done. Nash and Shenton are exchanging some pleasantries. And it will be, once they find the footy, it will actually be Nash's free kick. You can see there the ground a bit chopped up and the kickback is taken off. Yeah,
it's a windy day and a hard ground, isn't it? That ball just keeps escaping.
The ball can go anywhere. Remember that kick from Pascoe that bounced over the Port District defender straight into Slater's lap earlier. Could be a turnover here. Pascoe, Johnson, Pittman, now Payne. Looking for Pittman, couldn't find him. Deinhoff has it. Now they're with Rose. Now it's Port District's turn. Rather than a handball, too many a kick. I like that concept. Carpeney couldn't quite gather it in, so he had to play defender. Lays the tackle on Dobie. It's a stoppage. Don't think we've had a score.
No.
10-4 to 9-4. 6-point margin. It's been Glenunga at every... Golden Grove at every break. 15 at quarter time, 3 at half time, 6 at 3/4 time.
Another 25-metre penalty here. They've just given away 3 or 4 of them in their second half, Port Districts, haven't they? Just for minor indiscretions, but they'll want to tidy that up.
And in a close game, I mean, the one that really hurt was the one...
The goal.
Yeah, that gave the easy goal to Slater. And you probably could have kicked it from where it was, but you never know now. We're right in the middle of Harper's Field, calling it from the brand new grandstand and clubroom facility here. Hatcher, that's a visionary kick. That suits up. I reckon that's a loose Pittman. Inside forward 50. Port District have some numbers, but it spills out the back. Here comes the Kookaburra pressure. They want holding the ball, the locals.
That's good umpiring there. No chance to get that ball
but
out.
But men in, what do you call them? Light green, not suede today. Off the ground. Soccer goal! McKelvey. We wait on the goal umpire to say, get out of my way. We're just going to have a quick chat about this. Touched.
Oh.
What?
I'm just wondering whether he got the toe to the line on the line after the line. He must have.
We're probably not going to be able to get a replay, unfortunately, because the kick's going to come in too quickly. But look, who was it said the umpires haven't been controversial today about 3 minutes ago? But I like that. No, I like the fact the goal umpire got a second opinion. That they're a third team out there. Let them work together.
And they didn't remonstrate too much, Golden Grove. Sometimes you can tell by the remonstration, Phil, so maybe he did get that right.
Yeah. Meanwhile, it's a hard footy just to pick up at the moment and get clear space for a kick. How are you going with your prizes, Adam?
Oh, well, I'm ready to go.
You've all good?
I'm the professional. I'll be ready to go.
I was about to say that if it was me like last week, just absolutely packing it. So glad you're doing it. It's been all Golden Grove in this quarter, but what have they done to the board? They've kicked...
just the 1 point, the controversial point.
Yeah, we've got to change the point, the goal to a point. So that score that you see on your screen at the moment, we're just going to do a little adjustment, folks. It's 10-5-65. That's Golden Grove, 10-5-65 Port.
That's a great switch of the footy.
58. We'll get there. Yep, spot on. Okay, that's of course the Hahn Ultra Zero Carb Scoreboard. We do thank them and all our other sponsors, Wakefield Sports Exercise Clinic, Police Credit Union, Farmers Leap Winery. Do they do port? Do you know it all, Adam?
No.
No?
No, unfortunately.
Okay. All right. Should
Need
never
one
ask a
today.
question you don't need the answer to. Sits with Louis Johnson in front of the literal hill. Yeah. At Harper's Field. They're just keeping it along that boundary line. It's not enough of a lead to sort of play too much keepings off. Shepherd about to escape. Tackled, hand pass straight to Sharrod. This is more Port District type football than Golden Grove, but the Kookaburras seem up for the physicality. Pittman.
He's been good, Pittman, in this last quarter, hasn't he?
Correct. He was the best on ground last week.
And then he kicks, maybe a little bit rushed. It wasn't the wrong decision. Just needed to wait for another forward to get back.
Yep.
They got Glenn inside 50 on that occasion.
10 minutes gone. Still plenty of time for anything to happen. I think that was Pittman again. As the runner. That's a high kick to the top of the square. Pascoe's lurking as the rover. That's a soccer kick.
That's Glenn.
Glenn.
It was Glenn.
No doubt about that one. Glenn has his first. A big one in a low-scoring final quarter. Let's have a look at the Dartfish Footy stats replay.
He was just so fast to recover, Phil, wasn't it? He was in the marking contest and then bang on the ground. That's a big goal, isn't it? 13-point buffer in a tight game. Still not over for Port Districts, but that's a super important goal for Glenn and for Golden Grove.
Yeah, looks good. Great that Azizi Top has joined us to watch the game this afternoon. Some fine flying beards. Not sure if what my wife would say if I ever let mine get that long.
One of the bigger July crowds I've seen at a local
Yeah.
football game. There's a lot of people here today, which is good.
Yeah, lots of kids. We had a whole day that's pretty much had everything. You got the past, the present, and the future all at Harpers Field on one day. Miller cut a nice kick with the outside of the boot. The Golden Grover there. There's Thatcher again in the running. Adam may be in the running. I know. That's as far as you'll tell me. I know. Right by the boundary. Almost had a meeting with our cameraman who wisely just, I'll get out of the way of this one. Nash Haynes. So right now it's a 13-point margin. I'm not saying it's time for urgency because there's plenty of time left. And what have we got here? We've got
a free kick for Districts.
We have. I think that's on Ingram. We came in a bit hard.
Carpenter's a skilled player and he can laser a ball in low. It's a tricky kick with the breeze. Going to take it across the face. I think he's going to have a go at it here.
He kicked 3 goals last week in the 39-point victory over Prince Alfred.
He hasn't had big stats today, has he? But it's looked lively to me. He looks fit and he's moving and he's creating some headaches for his opponent.
The 50-metre arc isn't very readable. That kick, is it going to be a beautiful pass? No, it's not. Pat Ryan, the debutant, says, thank you very much. I'll just take that and I'll settle things down. He'll play the percentages. Gaffney the tap to Carpeney. This time the handball a little more accurate to Haynes. His kick off the side of the boot. Ryan comes in to force the stoppage. And it will be a ball up. 13 minutes gone. Still a strong breeze. But amazingly,
that's holding the
going
ball.
into it has covered it. Yeah, well...
Right decision by the umpires. It was hot, but he had his 2 or 3 steps. It was a great tackle. Not sure he's got these at Sharrod.
Yep. Louis Sharrod, best on ground in last week's win, kicked a goal. Played 11 games, been in the best on 5 occasions this season.
No doubt being up in Port District's best against. They had a lot of the ball in the first half, didn't he, Phil? And even in the first quarter when they were struggling a little bit, he was one guy that was in amongst it. What they need, Phil, desperately, is a straight kick here from their experienced player, Sharrod.
Well, the margin is 13. Opportunities like this in the final quarter have been rare. And you've got to say, as that spills out of bounds, the 2 that Port District have had, they could open a shop that sells meat. A throw in.
You can see the breeze still playing a part.
Yeah,
that ball
but
drop. It's still breezy.
Yeah, okay. It's easy up here, I get that.
But I'm sure Sharrod would love to have a kick like that back again. We have seen players kick the goals. That's where the really skillful players, like you look at Pasco's set shots for shooting today has been really first class on a windy day.
And that's where Golden Grove earlier, when they had 7-0 from limited opportunities, really helped. Like since then they've kicked 4 goals, 5.
They kicked 7 goals from their first 12 inside 50s, Phil, and if they get up today, that's where the match is won, isn't it?
Correct.
And another 25-metre penalty against Port Districts. I've counted 5 in this half, Phil.
Yeah. Well, we do provide a little bit of a briefing to Tommy Javor, so he's got some facts for his Division 1 report, and I reckon that might be a comment there about, whilst only one has really been telling. How's that for a solo tackle? Harry Hawkins nowhere to go. And Josh Dobie's not happy. And what have we done? We reversed the free.
Yeah, just a little bit of treatment to Sharrod after the ball up was called.
They're lining up.
Right into the sun there, lucky.
From Jack Gaffney to Nash Haynes. Now it's a hot footy 20 out. Oh, Didoff did that well, did that!
Oh.
Deinhoff had the chance, needed a good bounce. Is that a useful point, 13 down to 12?
Yeah, they need to lock this ball in now. They'll have the ball with Johnston. Look for a set play and some real distance on his kick out here if they can.
Oh, look at that kick. Straight to the centre wing. It's covered half the ground. Lysette, the mop-up man at the back. Needs a good kick, finds it.
Kicked the ball well today, Lysette, hasn't he?
You know, every time he gets the ball, he does something pretty useful with it. And I tend to find the more that he's in on that kind of stuff, the better Port District play. Gray. Well, he got nutmegged earlier. He tried the zigzag and the hand pass was intercepted. Now it's Golden Grove on the rebound. And a good grab taken by Blades, the kick from McKelvey. And the locals are saying, well,
kick the goal, use the clock.
Well, there you go. You don't have to say anything, Adam. Special comments have been wrapped up for you.
Your goal, Bladesy.
Very passionate up here in the grandstand today.
Yeah.
This will be a big turnaround, though. The poster at one end, if he can put this through, it will make it very tough for Port Districts.
After Port Districts had 2 set shots closer to goal that didn't score. A moment of silence. Blades, I think he's kicked it to the near side. Useful behind, 12 to 13.
Yeah,
Those
can
ones
be useful.
tend to be.
They'll need 3 scoring shots at least, Port Districts, that are about to get in this. They might have to take a bit of a punt now, maybe look to go up the middle. No, they're taking the conservative approach still. We believe there's only about 6.5, 7 minutes to go.
So this quarter's had 1 goal. The soccer goal to Glenn. And speak of the man.
He's got it again. But yeah,
Use the clock, Josh.
Gaffney
Use the
really
clock.
tried to pierce a pass down the middle of the ground, which, you know, when you're 13 points down, maybe you've got to try it, but it was a super risky ball.
Yeah. And wisely, Rose for Lysette, the man on the mark, although you probably want someone tall on the goal line. Glenn from outside 50. He sprayed it to the near side, and we've got 2 useful behinds. It's always useful when you're in front, and Glenn and Gray have a quick, pleasant chat. He's going again, going for the same target. And that's Batty, who's playing at centre-half back.
And they've got an open field now. If they can reset with some of their forwards, need a goal in the next minute or 2, Port Districts.
It sits with Miller Carter. Bit of a push. Players are getting tired. It's been a hard-fought game in chilly conditions. Sharrod has a bit of space here on the clubroom wing. Penetrating kick inside 50. Shetton's back. He's got it covered onto Johnson. He's got it covered onto Glenn. Some of the big-name players for Golden Grove. Now to Blades. He's marked. Will he stop and take some time? He's too far out to score.
No rush.
Timekeeper. Oh no, the time balance says no rush. Looking, can't find Templeton off hands, and that's not a bad result for Golden Grove. It keeps it down their end of the field. They can set up a wall here. We're a minute from time on in a 1-goal quarter.
Certainly Shenton now playing behind the ball, which is a smart move.
Yeah.
And I'd be looking to get one more back if Port Districts can't go coast to coast from here.
Well, Louis Johnson is the loose man. Shenton is trying to follow Miller Carter. He's about a kick and a half behind play at the moment. And now the clock starts to become an issue. Of course, it's not just goals that it stops for, it's stoppages, and we've had our share of those. Yeah. So, it's with Joey Haynes. Port Districts, they're in a similar situation to when they played Glenunga last week. They played well at a lot of stages of the game, gave away an early head start. But they're on the wrong end of the moment. Even if they kick a goal, they're still that little bit further behind. It's come off a possession, I think. And Pascoe says, I want to take a shot. Can we move the esky, please? Don't see that too often in calling footy. Have to move the esky out the way. But Pascoe, enough of the jokes. He's deadly serious. He knows if he can kick this, he's nailed the game. And he's got a fifer. Puts it high, lets the breeze do something with it, and it will be thumped through. The margin is now 15 points. That takes the draw out of the equation. Golden Grove have kicked 3 consecutive behinds. Big kick in. Johnson lurks. He's 2 back. He's got it now. Skills to Hatchard. Out towards Ingram. Ingram by the boundary. They could have raffled it. In the end, no one wanted to win it. Back to Ingram now in the middle of some Port District players. Looking for Dodd. Ends up with Rose. Dodd's got him. And right now, Port District just cannot. And some off the ball play. Lysett and Ingram it was. Is this 25? Well, we've talked about 25-metre penalties being something regular by Port District today. This one could be the death knell in terms of this game. Connor Dodd has a goal. He has 3 for the season. Played his first A-grade game for the Kookaburras in 2017. This to put them probably within a game of 3rd spot. Starts left, swings right. I reckon that's about it. 22 and a half gone. Dodd has his second. It's 2-0 Golden Grove in the final quarter. Here's your Dartfish Footy Stats replay. Adam Jeffries is headed down for the awards. Well, he's rounding up the players. I'll try and round up some scores around the Adelaide Footy League this afternoon. The one we won't be able to get you, unfortunately, is a Sacred Heart. They're playing at the middle school, which is an area we're not able to go to. So that game against Broadview, I have to just check Play HQ near the 6 o'clock deadline. Back in the middle, as the Sting gone out of this at the 23-minute mark, and the margin now 21 points. I reckon the siren is not too far away. Ingram with the tap. Cooper Gaffney into some space. They've got the numbers. And Golden Grove will be able to clear with a degree of ease. Surely that's not Ingram again. But I don't know of too many other Kookaburras who've got headbands on today. Rose and Gray could raffle it. Rose says, I'll take it. He centres it. Cooper Gaffney was thinking handball. Oh, he's the mud. The mud led to the slip. Glenn pounces. Kick towards Blades, who's been a good link man early. Hand pass to Pittman. He puts on the retros. There's an open goal from 55 out. If it wasn't over before, it's over now. Let me just check that player. It's Josh Hable. Apologies, Josh. Yeah, I thought it might have been wrong when I started to see the speed. Good long distance goal for Hable. That's his first today, his second for the season. Comes from a great footy club in the Riverina, Gan, Main, Grong, Matong. 3 towns. Gan, Main, Matong and Grong. They are the Lions along the Canola Way. And Golden Grove are going to get a pretty important win. It'll be their 7th of the season, and for the first time since round 2, they're going to have a even win-loss record. This game has not got long to go. For Port District, they'll drop to 7-6-1. Golden Grove will be 7-1, and chances are if Payneham beat Brighton, we'll give you that score in a sec, Payneham could leapfrog Port Districts into 3rd. That's the siren, and that's your footy game. A great start to Golden Grove, a pretty impressive comeback from Port District, but in the end, 3-0 in the final quarter with the breeze. Golden Grove kicked 3 goals for to 1 behind. The only quarter where the scoring end had the breeze at the players' backs. The goal scorers for mine for the Kookaburras. Lachlan Pascoe had 4. Mitch Slater had 3. Singles to Josh Glenn, Josh Hable and Jacob Templeton, along with Cam Shenton. For Port District, 2 to Sam Gray, 2 to James Batty. Singles to Preston Cockatoo Collins, Kenneth Carpeney, Cooper Gaffney and Scott Lysette. Port District won the C's by about 25, the B's by about 4, but it is in the end, 27 points, which might have been game high, that final margin. It's just felt closer than that, but as mentioned, Golden Grove did kick the final couple of goals. Continue, it's all over at Pertaringa. And Spock have got up by 2 points. St. Peter's Old Collegians 61. So I'm just getting my notes together here. St. Peter's Old Collegians 61, Tea Tree Gully 59. Just a 2-point margin. We've got about 5 minutes to go. Adam is rounding up the best players. So that's 2 finals that we've got. Just trying to see if I can find another score for you. Payneham and Brighton, that's a big one. And that game is over. 15-point win to Payneham. 64 to 49. The other game that I could get a score from is Prince Alfred and Glenunga. I might do that in a moment because Adam has done stellar work. Has got some award winners. Let's go to Adam.
All right, welcome Boundary Side. She's cold. She's cold. I'm pretty keen to get home and have some soup. But that was a great win for Golden Grove. Great crowd here today for local football, past Players Day. And Golden Grove on a bit of a roll now, which is really good. We've got our award winners. Mosley, best team man, Aidan Thatcher. Great game down back. Player of the day, Neo Mouthguard player of the day, Lockie Pascoe, finished off the good work of the coast-to-coast goal in the first quarter. We wanted to have a chat with him. And our new Balance Belgravia best player was Jake Pittman. Start with you, Lockie. Back from a long-term injury. Tell us about that. And you finished off the player of the day. I think it was Harble's pick-up over the back. Tell us about your season and tell us about the goal in the first quarter.
I had a fractured scaphoid round 2, so I missed probably the best part of about 9-10 weeks. And then, come back and just try to make sure I was diligent with rehab to get back as quick as we possible, come out here and help the boys. I guess the work that we're putting in on the track as well is coming out in a game like Hable grabbing a clean ground ball like it was a perfect day for footy out there, and applying his craft, and just fortunate enough to get on the end of it and finish off the hard work up the ground.
Yeah, well done, big fella. 4 goals in a low-scoring game. No doubt that with you back in the team, they're much better. Let's talk to you, Big Aidan. Now, apparently you were really stiff last week. Were dominant last week. Should have had the best team man voucher. A lot of intercept marks. Great game. I bet you won after that mistake on the three-quarter time siren. We won't talk about that. We'll talk about the great game you had down in fullback today. Well done, mate.
Pretty disappointed with that last one on the end of the third quarter, but just rattling got the win.
In your defence with that kick, there was a gale behind your back and Rose was able to kick the goal, but well done to you. And Jake Pittman, you're a bit of an unsung hero in and under while Johnson and all that get all the easy possessions. You get the ball out to him all the time. Well done, mate. Great win. Great game by you today.
Yeah, thanks. I make them look good, I reckon. Each week I make them look better than what they are, but they love that. It's great now as a team. We're starting to build some confidence, so hopefully coming into finals we can continue that, get better, and hopefully challenge the Glenungas, Sacred Hearts, and again Port Districts down the track. So thanks.
Yeah, well done to Golden Grove. It was a great win by them. We weren't sure about them early in the season, but when you looked at it, it was a lot of close losses. They got their mojo back now, and they're making a run at the finals. Well done to these boys. Let's get inside. Warm showers all around. Cheers, boys. Back up to the combox.
Thank you very much, Adam. Yeah, I agree with that soup comment. So we only have one score that we don't know, and that's Sacred Heart Broadview. So what I can tell you is that Glenunga are 14 in zip. Sacred Heart, regardless of their result, is in second. Payneham Norwood Union have moved into third, as we see many Dartfish highlights today. They're on 8 and 6. Port District are 7, 6 and 1, now in fourth. Golden Grove in fifth at 5 and 7. They're either a game up on Broadview, or if Sacred Heart got up, they're actually 2 games up in the 5. So depending on that Broadview Sacred Heart result, we may have our 5 starting to set. Prince Alfred dropped to 5 and 9. They're 2 games in percentage back of Golden Grove with 4 to play. It's hard to see Princes playing finals. The other battle is for the relegation to avoid it. The Bombers are 3, 10 and 1. They're now bottom because Spock beat Tea Tree Gully by 2 points. The good news for Tea Tree Gully, it's a narrow loss, and my guess is that Tea Tree Gully still lead at a 2.15 percentage gap. They lost by 2 points. I don't reckon they'll make that
Percentage
up.
won't move too much.
Won't move too much. But Spock and Tea Tree Gully, 8th and 9th. We know what happens to 9th. They're separated by just percentage. The Bombers are bottom at 3, 10 and 1.
Who still aren't out of it, Brighton as well. What have we got, 4 to go in Division 1?
Yeah, well,
4 games.
they're only half a game out, and Brighton next week play St. Peter's. So
Well, that's a big game as well, isn't it?
Tea Tree Gully play Prince Alfred, Brighton play Spock, so the bottom 4 play each other next week.
So it's exciting all across the ladder. Glenunga, who are just a little bit too good for everyone at the moment.
And Sacred Heart, we don't know. Well, Port District will know all about Sacred Heart because they are hosting them next week. That is fourth hosting second. Brighton and St. Peter's must win for both at Brighton Road to stay alive next year. Broadview and Payneham must win for Broadview if they want to play finals. Prince Alfred and Tea Tree Gully. Princes want to stay in no man's land. If they lose that, the rest start catching up a bit and could be a late threat to be relegated, although with 5 wins, they'd probably be a bit stiff. So if you thought this week was big, and we had a cracking game today, next week promises to get even bigger.
It's going to go down to that last round as well, field with Division 1. We're going to go to that round 18 match field, not knowing where the ladder's going to sit. Finals, relegation. It's great. It's great competition.
As you see, Lockie Pascoe drilling. We saw some really good goals from boundary positions.
We saw some fantastic, even Port Districts had got the chocolates. We saw Gray and Carpeney in that second quarter with fantastic goals. I didn't give the player of the day to Josh Glenn's nutmeg.
Okay.
I know you were keen on that. He almost could have got it for the soccer goal, and we could have asked him about it potentially. I did think about that. But we thought that the end-to-end ball movement in the first quarter with Haber's pick up down to Pascoe was first class. And Pascoe had a pretty good day himself, didn't he? Kicking 4.
No, absolutely. No disagreement there. A reminder, folks, to keep track of everything. We've got the weekend wrap tomorrow with all the men's and the women's. Final rounds of women's minor round and tomorrow as well. Well, just about set for Div 2 and Div 1. The weekend wraps tomorrow. Tommy Javor's Div 1 report. Part of Between the Posts coming out late on Monday. Adam, as we have the final highlights. Josh
Here's
Glenn.
your nutmeg.
There we go.
That was out of bounds too, but we'll pay that in. That was very clever.
That's what Sammy Gray would say. I wasn't nutmegged. You should have been called out of bounds.
What a game for Golden Grove though. Like, that was a real arm wrestle. They started like a house on fire into the breeze.
Yep.
Port Districts worked their way back into the game in the second and third quarter. Were dominant, led the inside 50 count for most of the day. But Golden Grove just too classy, and I think we shouldn't underestimate. You look at all those close losses, Phil, early. we were wondering what was wrong with Golden Grove. They came up from Division 2 and we thought they could be a top 3 Division 1 team with the squad they've got. They lost some close games, but Pascoe missed 9 games. Now, he is the best full forward in the competition, and when you take those players out, Phil, it does make it hard. It makes, a guy that can kick 4 and 5 consistently every week, and they're losing games by 7 points. It makes a difference, doesn't it, having another goal scorer and the domino effect that can have on the team. So well done to Golden Grove. I genuinely think, Phil, they can win a final or two. Can they challenge Glenunga and Sacred Heart? I'm not sure, but if they win a final or semi-final, it certainly wouldn't surprise me.
Well, you mentioned can they challenge Glenunga. Next week, we're getting a triple treat of Golden Grove. Having watched them play Broadview in the mud last week, here in the cold, I'm not sure. What are we going to get next week?
Sorry to the viewers. I know we've said it a few times, but it was cold up here today. It was cold.
Glenunga and Golden Grove are two teams that are, well, they're hot. Golden Grove have won 5 of their last 6. Glenunga have won 14 on the trot.
We spoke about teams under the radar. A Division 1 team at 14-0 shouldn't be underestimated, should it? What a fantastic season. But do you want to go 18-0 all the way through undefeated? I wonder if at some point you don't manufacture a loss, but if there's some sore players leading into the finals, you might just try a few things positionally, and Golden Grove need to win to make finals, so maybe Golden Grove can cause an upset at Glenunga next week.
I don't think you worry about it. You just play to win the premiership, and so you don't make decisions for the short term. Everything, Glenunga were minor premiers last year. They know the difference between the best team for the year and not being the premiers.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they'll be hungry grand final day, whether they're 18-0, 17-1, 16-2, won't they?
Okay. Adam, thank you for all your great work. Lovely to have you back.
Yeah, thanks. Had a few weeks off.
Making those big decisions, overruling.
I was a bit rusty, but I'm back into it now, ready to finish the season. Thanks to everyone, all the support, Hugo, Elias and the team. Well done.
Yeah, boss John Douglas. All our filming footy fam. Also James. Can't forget James giving us rainbows, giving us jet planes, giving us all sorts of things from the band. So I'm Phil Hedden saying thanks for joining all of us here at Harpers Field. We're in the C's, Port District, won by 23. In the B's, it was, I think, 4 points, and in the A grade, it was Golden Grove by 27. We'll be back next week when Glenunga play Golden Grove. Until then, you've been watching the Adelaide Footy League. Thanks to Filming Footy. We'll leave you with the song of the victorious Kookaburras side. Good night.
Yeah!